podcast where we talk all things art, culture, and entertainment, but more specifically pop culture entertainment. I'm your regular host, Will the Greatest, and with me I have my regular co-host, the real Aaron Alexander. How you doing today, man?
I'm good. Well, given recent events, I'm all right. Doing personally good within my personal life. As far as like the state of the world, could be better, but you know, we rocking. We ball, as the kids say.
Fuck it, we ball.
How are you, man?
Yeah, about the same. Personally, well, politically askew. But you know, fuck it, we ball. Gotta keep on trucking best we can, given the circumstances. We'll definitely revisit that topic. But yeah, man, how have things been going? I know, like, last time we talked was when we recorded, which was like 2-3 weeks ago. So for us to put something out, quiet, you know, some shit happened.
Yeah, some things have happened. I've been all right, man. Hold on, it's a little hard to hear you at first.
Sorry, my microphone just fell.
Oh shit.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been fucking May, dude. Time flies super fast because last time we did a podcast, I was actually with you in North Carolina in your home. And that was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I'm like, damn, where the fuck does time go? That shit felt like it was not that long ago.
Right.
Because I think an election happened like a couple days after I left your place.
Yeah, it was that week. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I left on a Sunday. Election was Tuesday.
Yeah. Fuck. Jesus. Okay. Yeah, that was a hell of a way for the month to start, too. Now we're almost at a Thanksgiving. So. But, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think we're both just kind of doing the best we can, given things, but at least personally we're good.
Yeah, at least personally we're okay, you know.
Yeah.
Some fun things happen in life. And you know, work's going well. Just I got a shirt from my other job that I was working on for a while that's finally out of my brain and off of the computer and onto my body, and I've never made a shirt before, and I now have the ability to do that. And I'm working on some other cool stuff which should be out hopefully in the holiday season, so you know, I'll keep y'all posted with that. But yeah, that's big on that front. Excited there. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about all the things we have missed in our time away. Most of the things we missed.
Which luckily for us, given it's been a couple of weeks, we actually haven't missed too much. Yeah, just similar for me. Personal life is pretty good, just staying occupied with work. Edits for I probably haven't mentioned it on the show. It's either here or there about like the screenplay, so I just need to go through another round of edits for that because I've been getting some solid feedback, which is going to be good for direction. I've been playing Punishing Gray Raven more. Like, I downloaded that. That's a fun little gacha game, and got a new computer that I'm slowly paying off, but it works significantly better than my old one, so I'm happy to have it. But yeah, beyond that, things are smiggity smooth. You know, before we get into some of the fun comic booky nerdy stuff, talking about another kind of nerdy property. I know we were talking about like various franchises earlier, but Transformers 1 unfortunately came and went, which was pretty good. I mean, just like, what did you think about the movie? I thought it was good. Malik really recommended it to me and was like, Megatron, you know, did nothing wrong. We stand a strong black king. I'm like, what was he talking about? And then I went in and was trying to figure it out, and we got to the end. I'm like, yeah, he was right. he didn't do nothing wrong. He was justified.
He said, "No justice, no peace." That man.
Look, man. Sometimes they don't listen to peace, so we got to get this throwing hands, throwing energon.
Energon. He just said, "Are we doing spoilers for that one or?" We're keeping it spoiler free.
Do you want to?
We can
Okay.
talk about our personal opinion, and then we can do like light spoilers.
Okay.
Then.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I really liked it too. I thought it was mishandled by its marketing team.
Oh, its marketing was terrible.
Because it made it look like it was a little kids movie, and it's not. It's a family film, which is a very
Correct.
different kind of experience.
Very, very different.
But yeah, it was serious. It had a heart. The comedy wasn't overbearing. It was actually funny, and the action was great. It was just a good film overall. I'd watch a second one, and it hopefully has a better, streaming life than it did a theatrical run, because the movie did not do pretty well from what I heard in the box office, which is a shame because it deserves to. It's the best Transformers movie we've had in years.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I know Rise of the Beast just came out, and that statement still stands. It's the best Transformers movie we've had in years.
Yeah, I still need to see Rise of the Beast and Bumblebee. But yeah, it's a great Transformers movie and a great movie just in general. Because I walked out of it, I'm like, wow, that was good. That was very well done. I would like to see more of that. Shame that I won't, because I was probably one in my theater when I saw it.
Oh, damn.
I think I was like one of four, but not a lot. Now granted, I saw it on like a random weekday. It doesn't make any, but it was like, I'll say a week after it came out.
Oh, damn. That's really not good then.
Yeah, it wasn't doing too hot. But yeah, it was very well animated, good action, very impressive with like, I was predominantly impressed with the voice cast.
Brian Tyree Henry really worked for me. I was surprised that he did. I never seen there was like a Megatron, but lo and behold.
I couldn't either, but he showcased a lot of his vocal range. Hemsworth was good as Orion Pax. He really came into his own by the end. I could tell by the end he was very much trying to imitate Peter Cullen, and I think here and there he did a good job, but it didn't. I'm not used to hearing him speak in an American accent as much, so it was a little easier to kind of get engaged. Scarjo was solid. I actually think I liked her the most. And then Keegan-Michael Key, he's funny. He's solid. Forcing the Bedassatron joke kind of got a little, because they're like, I was sitting there in the theater. Yeah, I'm like, rule of threes, people, rule of threes. It's a rule for a reason.
Yep. It's a rule for a reason, and I think, did they go do it more than 3 times?
I think they did 4, which I'm like, okay, if you do 4, that means you know the rule and you were deliberate with it.
Right. And they did an AA-tron joke, or a Campio reference. Did you catch that one?
Yeah. I didn't.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, and that's AA-tron.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah. I was like, ha, in the moment. And then, yeah, it was fun. I was like, okay, I see what you did there. You're
It was
good job.
It was a cool movie. Did some really cool creative lore stuff. What they did with Starscream was wild too.
Oh yeah. It was like, damn, Megatron made him his bitch. And then,
like for real. I'm like, oh, I see why you're such a bitch. Like in the main shows and everything. If this is like even just a version or an adaptation of you.
I think Steve Buscemi played him in the movie, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm like 99% certain because I heard the voice. I'm like, why did that sound familiar? Is that Steve Buscemi? Like it was like, huh? Yeah, I mean that's a good pick.
Yeah, that's Buscemi, all right.
Yeah. So
okay, yeah, and I think they pitched up his voice too, if I'm not mistaken. I'm like,
yeah,
I would have never guessed it or thought of it, but this works.
Yeah, it's like he would have been my first guess, but then you put him in there. I'm like, oh yeah, I can hear that. Yeah, I can see that. That's feasible. I don't know. Was there anything we wanted to talk about spoiler wise? I kind of don't want to spoil too. I mean, one, I don't think there's too much to spoil.
And there's one thing: the fact that how Megatron's decisive decision to be like,
oh, fuck this. Yes, yeah, his final motivation Um,
his not confirmation, I guess in a sense, but
his like faith
commitment
breaking
to
moment.
yes, faith breaking commitment to villainy,
Yeah.
which was, can we say it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but before we get into spoilers, go see it, show it to your family. Holidays are coming up. Watch it with them. It's a very good animated family movie. Still need to see the Wild Robot, but yeah, it's a very good animated family movie.
Really good movie.
Yeah, highly recommend Transformers 1. I need to give Chris Sanders more money because he doesn't miss. But yeah, so what were we gonna say? We're in spoilers now. We're in spoilers.
Oh. He threw Megatron down. He threw Optimus into the hole.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, bro. Like, you're not my brother no more. Bye.
Yep.
And luckily, the Avatar state brought him back. The souls of Prime
the souls
past.
of the old Primes. It's like, you deserve the matrix of leadership, and it's like, oh shit, nice. I think my favorite joke was, and how they set it up was kind of interesting. Which is like, it's like just believe in me, give me a chance. It's like, let me touch it. I could be really powerful. It's like, you don't have the touch or the power. I'm like, ha ha. Yeah, I understood that joke.
That was good. I liked it very much.
I'm like, there was actually some thought put into that. That was funny. What does Jennifer Lopez say? The ones who know, no.
I was like, yeah, this movie was fun. And
it's good.
Will they call it Transformers 2? Hopefully.
That was definitely my thought of like, so the next one could be like Transformers 2. Which I'm also like, what would you do, I guess, if not like the war for Cybertron or something?
I think you'd have to. And then Transformers War for Cybertron, the third one, maybe Death of Cybertron.
Yeah, or something with like Unicron or some shit like that.
Yeah.
If you're feeling really ambitious.
I'd be down for it.
Yeah. Or even if they just did a TV series, I wouldn't mind that, because it's like, it definitely kind of reinvigorated that, because it's like, I'm not like a huge Transformers person, but it's a franchise that's like always been around me, and I always forget because no one really talks about it. My personal introduction, I don't know if you remember these. Transformers had like some anime that used to air on Cartoon Network. That's how I got
about Armada?
Yeah, Armada.
That was my shit.
Energon and Cybertron.
Armada was my show.
Armada was my shit, because I'm like, god damn, everybody was looking thugged the fuck out.
They really were. Do you remember that one dude, the Sideways, who kept flip flopping? So. He's a motorcycle, a purple motorcycle.
Yeah.
Between the Autobots and the Decepticons. I don't trust this nigga. He played in the field.
Yeah, I need somebody to do a deep dive on the Transformers anime, because nobody talks about it, and that was like X-Men Evolution to me. It's like very good and just never discussed.
Yeah,
it's overshadowed by the stuff before and the stuff after. But yeah, good voice cast, well animated.
Agreed.
It's like, even though you see where the plot's going, it's not like boring at any point.
No. It's believable too.
Yeah, it's like, it's believable, it's sensible. Like it very much is. It's like it. I think when there's a story in it, it's like, okay, the story is clear, where it's like two best friends that then become enemies is like, it's a common story thread. How do you make that interesting and compelling, where you try to figure out like who's right and who's wrong? Because by the end of it, I'm like, I see why Orion Pax did what he did, but I don't disagree with why Megatron did what he did. Or D, what was his name? D9? D19?
I mean, yeah, your everything you believe in was a lie. Yeah. And like, oh, this motherfucker has to pay.
But it's especially like the theme of, I put my whole life on the line for the system and it failed me, so we need to burn the system to the ground. I'm like, correct. That is the correct stance to take.
Niggatron.
I mean, yeah. Niggatron.
What did he say? Yeah.
What did he call me? That definitely sounds like some shit that Sentinel Prime would call him. Poor little Niggatron. What did he call me?
What did he say?
What did he say? Hold on now, bitch.
Time out. Wait. And he branded his ass too. That was crazy. He literally branded the logo into his.
That was diabolical.
Yeah, I'm like, damn. You want to rock him? You rock him forever. I'm like, damn. He cold as fuck. Oh, he gotta die.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you admire Megatronus so much. Tell you what, I'll make it permanent. I'm like, oh, this bitch is. It's like, oh, you bitch, you raggedy bitch. Especially when he first showed up. I was like, oh, okay.
It was bad when he first.
I knew it was too, because he was way too confident about shit. It's like, well, we're trying our best to go and find the matrix of leadership. I'm like, this nigga's lying. This motherfucker was capping. Many have lied, but none have lied quite like you.
You know what it was? Is that he looked too stereotypically good, and he had that ugly blue and gold combo. I'm like, yeah.
He was a little too. And he was clean, and everyone else was dirty. It was like,
yeah, he was rocking.
He was too nice.
He was rocking that Thor: Love and Thunder. I'm like, he had to be bad. I don't care.
Oh, damn.
That ugly suit from the beginning.
Yeah, that awful ugly ass suit. Like at least Sentinel had like some cool weapons and designs.
Right.
And Orion kept stopping D9 from getting his lick back. Like, no, this isn't the way. Why not? He killed the other primes. You know, why don't we get our lick back?
No,
I don't see what the issue is.
We have to use the justice system. We have to do it the right way.
It's like, yeah, afterwards. We'll kill him first, and then we'll figure out the rest of the shit.
I think we need both of them, honestly. You need both of them for the system to function, because he did need to die. But
yeah,
his way of leadership was to inspire hate, and Optimus is inspiring hope. So, you know, he needed to die, and granted, he had his followers. I feel like his initial, I think it's like, you know, your intentions are good, but the way you execute said intentions, I don't know about that.
The biggest grievance is that it ultimately, his hatred stayed slightly too personal. Because I think had he not been so persistent and seen it as such a personal slight, and Sentinel basically being the embodiment of that, and he didn't want to kill him, everything else probably would have been fine. About, like, you know, destroying the old system and replacing it with a new one. I think really just what sent it over the line for Orion was just like, oh, my best friend's trying to murder this guy, and he's been like this jolly, optimistic, happy-go-lucky guy, and now he's like this radical anarchist. It's like, ooh, yikes. You know, it's very much a kill your masters moment, where it's just like, oh, we're two best friends and we get along. And then we both discover it's like, hey, the system has failed us both. It's like, yeah, man, well, we need to work from the inside and make a new system. And then your friend goes, nah, fuck that, burn the police station down. It's like, oh, why did I mean, I don't know.
Wait.
I don't know if there's like, yeah, we need to burn that shit down, kill the president. Well, hold on. We're a little fast here. Let's think about this. Like, no, I already got the guns. Huh?
I thought about it.
I understand it now. I thought about it. I understand it now. Everybody about to die. Huh? No.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? It's like, don't worry, bro. I got it. It just starts burning shit down. No.
So he's like the Punisher. The Punisher meme. Wait.
No. Wait. Oh my god.
Oh man.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Well, speaking of Marvel, do we want to go over to the Marvel stuff?
Yeah, let's get into it. Also, that's clever because the Star Wars, not Star Wars, what the fuck, Transformers. Didn't they have Marvel comics?
Yeah. Yeah, they did. Yeah, I think Marvel used to produce Transformers comics before IDW, who in the comics, I think they just started a new run recently. Like has a crossover with G.I. Joe,
Oh,
uh,
what? What?
which is also what they're setting up for their next movie, like their next live
That's
action.
that is right. That is right. They're doing that.
Because I mean, remember, we were supposed to get a Rom Space Knight movie. And Rom is a Marvel character who has interacted with the Transformers. He's like a big robot Space Knight. And he's interacting with one of the weirdest fucking books I think I've ever seen. I think I own one of the issues of it. It was like Rom Space Knight versus Transformers, and I own the first issue. I'm like, what the fuck am I reading? It wasn't bad. It was just random because I didn't have context.
I don't think I've ever heard of Rom Space Knight before.
Yeah, he's a Marvel character, I think technically. He is a space robot knight, I believe.
Cool.
That's all I remember about him. And I remember I think when we were on the old YouTube channel, it was like Rom Space Knight's getting a movie. I'm like, who the fuck is asking for a Rom Space Knight anything? I had to look up who it was when they first said it. It's like this famous Marvel character is getting a movie, or this infamous one. I'm like, what in the fuck? Who is this nigga? And you can go and see him. Yeah, he's from the fucking 70s.
Okay, random ass.
Yeah, from 79. Yeah, he started at Marvel from 79 to 86, and then IDW got him after that. Oh wait, he's back at Marvel. Wait, what?
Speaking of random ass Marvel projects, though, is Hypno Hustler still happening?
God, I hope not. I hope that dream stays a dream.
Well, Donald Glover was like producing and writing it, I think.
He's producing and writing a lot of things. Remember that Han Solo movie or TV show that was supposed to be a movie? Yeah.
You mean the Lando one?
Yeah.
I think they're still working on that.
I know. I do want to see that. I don't want to see fucking Hypno Hustler.
Well, we don't know what they're going to do with Hypno Hustler. I trust Donald Glover. I feel like he's earned that.
I don't want a Hypno Hustler movie. That's just my thing. Even if it's good, I don't want it.
Come on now.
I didn't say it would be bad. I just said I don't want it.
How do you know what you don't want? You don't want to Agatha show, and look at that.
Correct.
We didn't want a Penguin show, and look at that.
Oh, well, I was fine with a Penguin show.
Nobody asked for the Penguin show.
Nobody asked for a Penguin show, but it was fantastic. Nobody asked for an Agatha show, but it was fantastic. Here's the thing. I don't trust Sony. That's my thing.
Here's the thing. The fact that nobody knows Hypno Hustler means that he just has free reign to do whatever the hell he wants to, essentially. And plus, they don't have a big overarching plan. And
but here's because the best thing they've done so far is like the set photos in BTS for Spider Noir, even though they're calling him Ben Reilly instead of Peter Parker for some silly ass reason. His costume looks amazing. Like it's spot on. So I give him that. That's the best thing they've done since No Way Home.
Yeah, I'll give him that.
3 years, you know? Been a or sorry, no, I'll give you Across the Spider-Verse. So a year and a half.
Okay, a year and a half.
But in between that, what have we gotten in that time? We have also gotten Venom 3, Madam Web, and we're getting Kraven, which could be decent at best.
We'll see. We'll see with Kraven. The trailers look pretty good.
Are we going to see Kraven?
We are. I think we are. I mean,
the only reason I watched Venom was because we were together.
This is
I
fair.
was fully determined to not see it. And it was like, come on, bro, let's go and we can talk shit. I'm like, correct.
And luckily, we were one of 3 people in the theater. So we
Yeah,
did indeed talk shit
the whole time.
the whole damn time.
Like, it's just, Madam Web was so bad. It made me reevaluate just like this part. I'm like, if I don't want to see it, I don't have to do that to myself. I'll just not do it. I'll just not go. Here's the thing. I'm not seeing good movies when they're in theaters. Like, I missed seeing The Substance, so I have to watch that from the crib.
Like, no one is making me do this.
Yeah, it's like, I don't, just because there's like, it's based off a comic book or something, I don't have to see it. I can sit my black ass at home. We got Craven at the crib. I can just play Spider-Man 2 again.
There you go. The better Craven.
Yeah, we got Venom at the crib. I can just play Spider-Man 2 again.
Yeah, man. So I don't know. We'll see how these movies go, but
yeah,
we ain't trying to get down. We're trying to talk about the better of the Marvels.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm still working my way through that MCU book, which I highly recommend. I think I'm on like chapter 10 or 11. Fascinating. Just a fascinating listen in terms of how they have gone about their productions and everything. And I'm in the part where they're talking about like their casting decisions for different movies and like the process. Like Chris Evans rejected being Captain America 3 times before he said yes. I'm like, damn, Chris. Like, Robert Downey Jr. had to give him a call to be like, look, man, this is going to make your career better. It's not going to limit it. And he was like, all right. Like, god damn, they really wanted him.
That's crazy. I did not know they were trying to hound him for it that bad.
And he was up against he was up against good competition. Like, it was like John Krasinski, Jensen Ackles, a bunch of other people. Like, and apparently the reason Emily Blunt wasn't Black Widow was because she had a multi-picture contractual obligation to do Gulliver's fucking Travels. She couldn't be Black Widow. I'm like, that's a weird timeline.
Imagine the Gulliver's Travel timeline where they have a camera franchise.
Right, and I guess it was supposed to be had it not crashed and burned. But yeah, she was supposed to be the front runner, and then they went with ScarJo, and things worked out for her, so good for her. But
yeah.
But yeah, it's like a couple weeks back we got kind of some mini trailers. We also got our first real trailer for What If season 3. We got kind of a bundle of different stuff. Let me see if I can find it all. I guess in order. What do you think about the What If season 3 trailer? I mean, I thought it looked good. It's a lot of interesting things that they're setting up.
I think it's interesting that they are labeling this as its final season, and how it's going to be one ultimate conflict that's just resolved within the multiverse that is this animated show.
Mm-hmm.
We're introducing some other watchers, even though we have technically with Guardians 2 seen the watchers before.
Mm-hmm.
And we're introducing the X-Men into this world now via the multiverse, which is with Thor Storm, which is cool as fuck.
We're getting Thunderstorm. We're getting Storm, Goddess of Thunder.
Thunderstorm. I like that.
They're getting a lot of the OGs back. Coulson will be there.
And we're getting some phase 4 and 5 people in it. We get Moon Knight, Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight.
Yeah. Blade is going to be in Marvel Zombies, but he's going to have a different voice. Kingo, Agatha.
Oh, is Mahershala Ali not doing it?
Yes, and this also kind of ties into Marvel Zombies, which is, I guess, a separate talk. We'll go to that in a second. But yeah, like Captain Carter's back. We're getting Sam Cat, Bucky, Red Guardian, Hulk, Monica, Agatha, Kingo, Nick Fury, Howard the Duck, Bill Foster Giant Man, Riri Williams Ironheart, Shang-Chi, Kate Bishop, Thor, Loki, Kahori's coming back, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yondu, Nebula, Valkyrie, Howard Stark, Edwin Jarvis, Thanos, Moon Knight, U.S. Agent,
What about Echo?
Sunny.
Is Echo going to be in it? Where's
how would just to be there?
Yeah, she's just there.
It's not like they would have her voice.
They cast a crucial character. Let me stop.
Unfortunate. Like, I thought you were a dead ass until I realized it. Because I'm like, well, they didn't call her actress in for that. That's for sure. Gonna be the simplest paycheck.
You can get it for the grunts and stuff. They get it for the grunts and the fight scenes.
Oh yeah, sure. They're definitely gonna pull her into the studio for that. For the sound of her hands hitting her hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people are coming back. You know, Shuri, Wong, Okoye, Caecilius, Mysterio, I guess. So it's, I mean, Natasha Lyonne is being cast as a character named Birdie, and America Ferrera is someone named Ranger Morales.
Are these in Fantastic Four?
Nope. This is for What If.
Oh.
Yeah.
I could have sworn Natasha Leonis was cast in something else. I could have sworn she was in Fantastic Four.
She was cast in Fantastic Four as well. I don't know as who. It could be the same person. It could be somebody different. But she's in it twice. She's
interesting.
It could be a big year for Natasha. End of this year, going into next year. We got our first look at Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. You've seen a little bit more than I have of it at D23.
I went to a screening of What If Season 2 a year ago, and they showed us little clips of that in Eyes of Wakanda, which is wild because that was last year. That was wholly last year that I did that. But yeah. That was in 2023.
We saw it for a snippety snippet. And I mean, the animation looked good. I really do like the character designs. I'm hoping that this one does not go. I'm hoping it's good like X-Men 97. I'm hoping that it doesn't have the controversy that 97 had. But this cast is like, it's peculiar. Not because let me clarify. I really like this cast. It's a strong cast. It's a peculiar choice because they got the guy that did Peter Parker from What If, Hudson Thames. But we have finally a black Norman and a black Harry played by Coleman Domingo and friend of the show Zeno Robinson. He's also in that project that our buddy's working on. Oh my god, and I'm blanking on her name. The comic book shop. And so,
Cheyenne.
Yeah, Cheyenne. Yeah, Cheyenne's project. So he's a cast member on that as well. So he's playing Harry Osborn. Nico Minoru will be in it, played by Grace Song. Otto Octavius, played by Hugh Dancy. Charlie Cox is returning as Daredevil. Kari Walgren is playing Aunt May. Paul F. Tompkins is in it as the Wizard, and we're also supposed to be getting Stephen Strange, Amadeus Cho, Jean Foucault, Matt Gargan, Rhino, Tarantula, Speed Demon, Unicorn, Kurt Connors, Venom, and White Rabbit.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a interesting kind of go around. So I guess we'll see how it navigates, but I'm intrigued because I don't know what the hell they're doing with this one. This is probably one of the bigger mysteries of everything.
Yeah, it's coming out in January too, and it's interesting that Marvel Studios has 9 projects a year, and all of the pop media studios or video producers on YouTube are going to be covering the show, like a Spider-Man show. And I feel like Spider-Man shows, we've had so many over the years. I'm not used to it being like, because it's made from Marvel Studios, which is a big deal, a Spider-Man show being covered as if it's like an MCU thing.
Yeah, and it's the first CG one since the MTV show, which I personally love. I really like that show.
This is true. This is very true.
I think over 20 years at this point, because I think it was 2003 or 2004. It was right before Spider-Man 2, so it was, I think, 2003. Mm-hmm. What else we got? We got they won't drop the damn trailer for Daredevil Born Again, even though it's leaked. And they show snippets of it, and it looks very, very good, and I'm excited. Just drop the damn trailer. I know it comes out in March. They're fucking cock teasing us at this point, because we got 2 trailers at this point for Brave New World, and that second one looked pretty good. Give us that Born Again trailer, dog. Come on, yo.
Yeah, I agree. We got what's it called? So we got What If at the end of the year, but we also have our first venture into the DC universe at the end of the year with Creature Commandos.
Oh, and, yeah.
I'm willing to place a wager, because we're either going to get with the premiere of the show as an enticer, or at the end of the show. I'm willing to put money on it now that we're going to get our first look at Superman sometime during the run of Creature Commandos.
I thought he confirmed that he wasn't showing up.
No. I'm talking about... Oh,
you mean just an appearance? Like him visually?
No. Our first look at Superman, the movie.
Oh, the trailer. I would take that bet. Just because I think that's what rumors are saying they're looking at. So I would say it's going to be winter season. The predictions are saying... Oh, no. Predictions are saying teaser December. Yeah, people are saying teaser December, January, trailer Super Bowl. Those are the current predictions.
Okay. I can definitely see that. All I know is Frank Grillo has seen the trailer and he said it gave him goosebumps. So I'm like, okay, Frank Grillo. Okay, I just make a quick aside. Quick side to the rant real quick. Because this, and I feel like because you and I are both the same way with continuity and shit. Mm-hmm. What bothers the fuck out of me, Frank Grillo is playing Rick Flag Sr.
Yes.
Right? The father of Rick Flag Jr. from the Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Okay. Who's still dead, by the way.
Who's still dead?
Canonically, he's still dead.
Frank Grillo is not that much older than Joel Kinnaman.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, sure. Why not? You know? But in the show...
It's a 15-year difference.
Oh, you just looked it up right now?
Frank Grillo is 59. Joel Kinnaman is 44.
Okay, maybe he had him as a teenager.
Yeah, he was wilding. He's a victim, is what happened.
He's a victim, right? Some teacher took advantage. I don't know.
Yeah, something happened. There's a darker story there.
Definitely. But the thing that bothers me is not that, because maybe we can find some writing loophole around that.
Sure.
The fact that in the trailers for Creature Commandos, Rick Flag Sr. has gray hair, entirely head and beard. But from what I've seen from set photos of Superman and apparently in Peacemaker, he just looks like regular ass Frank Grillo. What the fuck's up with that?
Artistic license?
But I'm like, no, y'all need to, if y'all gonna say this is the same universe, we gonna need some consistency across all media.
I agree, because he got the same hair color as James Gunn I guess we didn't talk about that. I'll be damned. There, it's like ashen gray. What the shit? Yeah, he just looked like regular ass Frank Grillo. Now I'm annoyed. Yeah, like I'm looking at a picture of him in the cartoon, and that hair is like silver.
Right.
And then I'm seeing the set photo of him. It's like, it looked like he just got soot in his hair. It looked like he got like a little dust. Like if you do this, it just, oh, thank you. Like, thank you for getting that dust out of my scalp. Come on now, y'all. You know how I am about hair, so I definitely can agree with your frustration.
Exactly.
Like you can make Frank Grillo look older. Don't get me wrong. Good-looking guy, looks real good for his age, really in shape and fit. But like
the optimist in me the optimist in me is saying that okay, maybe somehow in Creature Commando, maybe he get hit by like a age ray gun, and maybe maybe
Pew! Take that! Oh no, I'm getting younger and beautiful. Don't look at me.
maybe he take an elixir. I don't know, but
Fucking
we don't need to
Enchantress comes
rectify.
in and woo-woos him younger.
We're gonna need to correct that. And please, for the love of God, don't make him grayer in post. Cause that
oh, bitch! I'd be like happy and pissed at the same time. It's like, why didn't you just get some spray dye or a bottle? Easily, as somebody that's dyed their hair twice, an easily rectifiable situation.
it's
I
so easy.
like. Here's the thing. I have a white hair. It's in my beard. Actually, I think I'm picking at it right now. But like, it's like as somebody that literally has like a pure white, skip right past gray hair. It happens. You can also make a different color.
It's an easy fix, guys.
He's like it's okay to make him look older. Don't get me wrong.
Or go
Frank
back.
Grillo, Frank Grillo looks great for his age.
He does.
He's fitter than most 59-year-olds I've ever seen. He looks amazing.
Truly.
Making him look older, I think, would be more intimidating because why the fuck is this like million-year-old man by Superman or trying to kill him?
Or you know what? If that's too much, right? Let's just go back. We got a couple weeks before the show comes out. Just make the one in the show have darker hair, just to rectify it, because it's gonna fuck with me. And I'm not gonna not think about it because I've seen it. You can't lie to my eyes.
It's like, well, what happened to you? It's like, no, bitch, you can't talk around this.
No, exactly. You better have a line or something because this is unacceptable.
All that being said, Creature Commandos, because we never did talk about that trailer. It does look good. It looks very good. So I'm very promising. So I'm very intrigued.
I'm looking forward
to see
it.
what comes up. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Yeah, that derail was woefully appropriate because if anything, I'm at least going to be somewhat consistent about my stances about like hair colors.
Right.
You know, it's like hair colors in certain costumes, but it's like hair colors is a big thing for me. I don't care about the race. Get that hair right, Playboy.
Yep.
Ironheart. This keeps looking better the more I see of it.
Did you get a trailer for Ironheart? Oh, there's that sizzle reel trailer. That's right.
There's a sizzle reel, and then we got a teaser. I mean, I'm actually something I'm surprised. I'm to my own surprise. I'm saying, and I'm impressed that it's coming out. Honestly, because we didn't hear shit about it forever. I mean, Ironheart looks good to me. It looks interesting. It is, in my opinion, the best written version of Riri Williams. We can go gayer, but still, it's like I think it's the best written version. I liked her portrayal. I know some people had critiques about the CG use in Wakanda Forever, but beyond that, like she was fun, she was cool. I'm definitely down to like watch a show about her, and the more I saw from that sizzle reel, I'm like, oh, this is better than like what I saw from her comics when I was reading that. So yeah, keep this up. More it is. I hope it's good. I thought it was probably going to lead in the Armor Wars, but they took that off the docket. So
yeah, I don't know why.
They took that pillow and go to sleep. Go to sleep. Shh! Don't fight it. Don't fight it.
Let it happen. Let it happen.
Just go to sleep. But no, I mean, you got any thoughts on Ironheart? I mean, looks good. I'm curious to see your boy from Rise of the Beasts and In the Heights is the villain, the Hood.
Yeah, I don't know much about the Hood other than playing him in Contest of Champions, the mobile game.
Yeah,
but yeah, he gonna be cool. I'm sure. Like that actor a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm blanking on what's his name again?
Anthony Ramos.
Anthony Ramos. Yeah, he's dope. He's a good actor. So let's see. We're going to start with Phase 6 because we got a couple things that were teased.
We have a few trailers. Yeah, we got the sizzle reel. We got the What If trailer we talked a little bit about. We got the first look at Thunderbolts. We got the Captain America 4 trailer.
Oh yeah, Thunderbolts had another trailer that was solid. That came out, I think, last week. Honestly, continues to look good. I'm excited. So
Yeah.
here's something actually interesting that I found online: the official synopsis for Fantastic Four: First Steps.
Yes, I did see that.
So it says, set against the vibrant backdrop of a 1960s inspired retro futuristic world, Marvel Studios' The Fantastic Four First Steps introduces Marvel's first family, Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, Sue Storm, Invisible Woman, Johnny Storm, Human Torch, and Ben Grimm, The Thing, as they face their most daunting challenge yet. Forced to balance their roles as heroes with the strength of their family bond, they must defend Earth from a ravenous space god called Galactus and his enigmatic herald, Silver Surfer. And if Galactus' plan to devour the entire planet and everyone on it weren't bad enough, it suddenly gets very personal. The action adventure also stars Paul Walter Hauser, John Malkovich, Natasha Lyonne, and Sarah Niles. Directed by Matt Shackman, produced by and releases July 25th, 2025. So yeah, sounds good. There's some rumors going about what that personal threat is. Yeah, I'm still very excited for Fantastic Four. Strange subtitle, but hey, I'm sure it'll explain itself.
Fantastic Four. Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they put Franklin Richards in here. Who knows? Because I'm
That's
just
the
excited to see
rumor.
actual footage. Because
Yeah.
Marvel, those dirty bitches. You know what they did?
You dirty
They
rat.
you dirty ass bitch. They went to Brazil Comic Con, right? And all of us nerds online were like, yeah, they're gonna show them the juice. They're gonna show them the real footage, right?
Yeah, they had that them cutouts and everything. The
They just showed
D23
them,
Brazil.
yeah, they just showed them the test footage for what was that Comic Con this past summer. I'm like, oh, you motherfuckers, you trying to keep this shit under wraps? Okay, Marvel. All right, I see you. I know you rapping filming next week, but at
Yeah.
least get them that early footage, that real stuff. But that's okay. We'll wait. We'll be patient. Maybe I'll drop a trailer in the Super Bowl. Who knows?
Yeah. That'd be ballsy. Them and Superman dropping the same day. That'd be
They come out
nutters.
a couple weeks apart from each other. They
They
better
do.
start.
Yeah, July's going to be a big month. What the fuck
That's
am I doing in July? Now I'm trying to remember. It's like, what the hell do I have going on in July? I think July is actually lighter for me for once. Thank God. Yeah, nothing else too wild. I mean, like Doomsday is coming. That No Way Home sequel I think it has a production title. Though there's a rumor that they've pushed production back to close to the end of next year. I'm like, that's not a good idea because your post production is going to be ass if you do that. But yeah, nothing too much about the movies. I mean, Blade just got knocked off the docket. Still no release date, no director. It has a screenwriter, but no director. So all those are bloody blah. We also got a synopsis and cast for Eyes of Wakanda, and finally a little bit of a look of it, which I'm intrigued in that. But it says Marvel Animation's new action adventure series Eyes of Wakanda follows the adventures of brave Wakandan warriors throughout history. In this globe-trotting adventure, the heroes must carry out dangerous missions to retrieve vibranium artifacts from the enemies of Wakanda. They are the Hattusarase, and this is their story. The voices include, get ready, Winnie Harlow, Cress Williams, Patricia Belcher, Larry Heron, Adam Gold, Lynn Whitfield, Jack Coleman, Jonah Chow, Isaac Robinson Smith, Gary Anthony Williams, Zeke Alton, Steve Toussaint, and Anika Noni Rose. Eyes of Wakanda is helmed by executive producer Todd Harris, with Ryan Coogler executive producing. Show is also executive produced by Brad Winnebaum and everybody else that works at Proximity Media. So, yeah, dope premise. Fucking crazy cast. They just said call everybody black pretty much that we can get. I'm curious to see what comes of it, especially with it only being 4 episodes. I feel like that's just going to be a same day drop. I don't think that's something you space out over a month. But that's going to be August. August is a weird pick. August is a really...
They got to space their shit out. They got 9 projects next year.
Yeah, which is... It definitely feels like we're throwing a bunch of shit at the wall. But why not June for the Black People show? Or February for... I see what...
You're not wrong.
Yeah, nothing's in February because Daredevil's March, Spider-Man's January.
Cap's in February.
Oh, that's what it is. Cap's in February. Why not Wakanda in June? You ain't got shit going on in June. Why August?
So let me see. We had Spider-Man in January, Cap in February, Daredevil's March. I think
Thunderbolts is May.
Nothing in June.
Nothing in June.
Anything in the summer? Oh, nothing
July
in June.
is Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, July is super fantastic month.
August is Eyes of Wakanda.
Yeah.
So the only thing they don't have going on, they're gonna be we're marveled all year, baby. We're marveled out all year.
Yeah, and I know
Not a
after
single month is missed.
I think they said I think Feige said going forward they're going to shoot more for 2 movies and 3 TV shows per year. Which I'm like, baby, that's still a lot. I'm fine with 2 movies and 1 show. Scale it back. It's not. Don't get me wrong. I'm eating it up. Like, baby, fill me up. But this is like, we're getting 9 projects. I'm gonna watch all of it. But I know motherfuckers are gonna be tired.
You watching all of it?
Yeah, it's all stuff that I'm interested in.
How was Echo?
I said I'm going to watch all of it.
I didn't watch that.
Oh no, man! You tell me. Did you watch past episode 2?
Shit, no. I mean, I didn't watch past episode 1 to be honest with you.
I go
one Marvel thing I have not seen, and I feel terrible about it.
It's like gun to your head. Describe the plot of Echo. Oh fuck! She's deaf, and she's really good at fighting, and she's cool. I mean, she's cool.
She's alright. She's fine.
I don't dislike her. You know, I'm down for the representation. It was definitely a case of like, you know, it's like I'm glad that we have greater representation for like different able, hard of hearing, like native. Like, look, I'm down to uplift indigenous voices, absolutely. But like, you know, call me when we're getting that Moonstar project, my boy. Old girl from New Mutants. Well, damn, it wasn't. Yeah, Danny. You know, call me. You know, hey, look, just hit me up when that's
with the redirection jitsu.
Why am I forgetting her name? Damn it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Moonstar. Daniel. Yeah, Mirage. Yo, hit me up when we're getting that Mirage project. I'm all in, baby. A psionic native person. You know, when we get that live action Kahori, I'm in. I'm invested. She got them Tesseract powers. Echo.
All I know is we gotta watch it at least before Daredevil because Kingpin's in the show.
Yeah,
so I think it might be important, at least on that level.
Look, let's uplift indigenous voices. You know, fuck Christopher Columbus all day, every day. Maybe I'll watch it for Thanksgiving. You know,
there we go.
And hopefully some folks on their land are getting their props or getting their ducats. I hope they're getting their residual checks and everything from these streaming shows. So might have to do it for the tribes, do it for the community, you know, and finish Echo. It's not that it's bad. It's just that I started it at like 3 a.m. and I'm like, oh, I'll get back to it. And now it's November.
Yeah.
And it came out in January.
Was Echo this year or last year? I don't even remember.
It was this year.
No, it wasn't.
It was like January. It was like January 13th or some shit.
Hold on. Okay. It was January 9th. It was January 9th. Damn. My bad.
I've had 10 months to watch it.
I'm sorry, Echo.
I need
11 months to watch it. Shit.
I need to see if my mom has watched it because she's the it's hilarious how she's watched like every show under the sun, but at like different times than I have. Like she watched Sandman way after me, but I still haven't seen Dead Boy Detectives, and she has.
Damn.
Or
I still
like
haven't seen either of those shows.
Sandman is great. I'm scared that season 2 will be the last season because a lot of controversy has come out about Neil Gaiman. I don't know if you know about that, but like he had, I think, like 8 sexual assault and harassment charges filed against him. It's like between like 5 and 8 of like sexual misconduct of various forms. I'm like, yee.
Oh no!
God damn, nigga, we can't trust authors. Fuck.
How did this slip under the radar? Damn, I didn't even know about this.
Yeah, this came out. This is a couple months back because I'm like, fuck, god damn it, Neil, son of a bitch. I was mad. I was very mad at him.
I'd be mad too. Shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, you fucking up the game for my projects. You fucking up people's checks by just being gross, dog. Like if it's true, it's allegation. So if it's true, and he was really doing some gross shit, don't condone that.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your hands to yourself. Mind your business. If you're in a position of power, stay in the fucking house.
You gross as hell.
Stay in the crib.
You sinister, allegedly.
Yeah,
so.
Allegedly sinister. It's like we don't rock with that.
We do not.
But speaking of, you have any thoughts on Eyes of Wakanda before we talk about zombies?
No. I mean, it looks cool. I like the animation style, and I can't wait for it to come out and watch it.
Yeah, wish we were able to see more of it. We got Marvel Zombies. We got the cast for it. It's David Harbour, Simu Liu, Elizabeth Olsen, which is interesting, Randall Park, Florence Pugh, Haley Steinfeld, Dominic Thorne, Aman Vellani, and Todd Williams. So it looks like Todd Williams will be voicing Blade. For zombies, because I looked it up. I'm like, well, that's a black person, and Blade is supposed to be in the show, so just kind of put 2 and 2 in a world of zombies. I don't think there's only so many. Oh shit, Aquafina's in it too.
Katie?
Okay,
is that her name in that? Interesting.
I guess. I mean, I don't hate Aquafina like everyone else on the planet apparently does. I remember the black scent. Don't worry, I didn't forget. I remember her rapping and shit. But
man, it's a shame because Shang-Chi's a really missed opportunity of a franchise. I really think Marvel had a hit on their hands where they can.
It did. It was a hit,
and they just let that shit go to the wayside. Yeah,
they waited too long to do that sequel because there were those rumors that it was going to be like Shang-Chi and the Dragon's Den or some shit.
And then they gave his sequel to or they give the director Spider-Man. So we're never gonna. Who knows? We're gonna see Shang-Chi too.
Which, I mean, good for Destin Daniel Cretton because I know he was also up for the Avengers movies. There's also apparently rumors that Marvel's trying to court Noah Hawley, the dude that did Legion and did that. He had a script for a solo Doctor Doom movie. Allegedly, they want him for something, and they'd courted him for Avengers. And I'm like, God damn it, we was robbed.
Oh man.
I had never been so fucking furious. I was like, oh my God, if Noah Hawley had given us a Doctor Doom Avengers movie, I think everything would have been fixed. I think the timeline would have balanced itself. It's like, look, it's Robert Downey Jr., but Noah Hawley is directing both of them. It's like, fuck. I trust the Russos, but there's a timeline out there where we got whatever the fuck that was.
Damn.
So there's rumors he might be tapped to do like Young Avengers, or maybe something with the mutant saga. Which I'm like, okay, all right. If he did Legion, which I've heard nothing but exceptional praise for. I think he's doing that new Alien series too, that's coming out.
Alien Earth, yeah. Which is interesting, from Fargo to Alien. So curious how that plays out.
Yeah, and I've heard good things about his season on Fargo. So
he created the show.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
He wrote and directed all 4 seasons, I'm pretty sure. He's a showrunner. I could be wrong. You may want to fact check me, but I'm pretty sure he did all 4 seasons.
Why did I think it was a anthology? What am I confusing?
It's an anthology. Each season's different from the last. He worked on all of it though.
Oh, he's just that fucking good. Yeah, you're right. Creating and writing for Fargo. damn, that motherfucker don't miss.
You don't?
He's that good.
And he's working on Alien, which is wild.
Yeah, and I need to see that Doctor Doom script that he had cooking up. Damn, this man really might not miss. He worked on Bones. He gave us Legion, which I still need to sit down and work my way through. I've heard nothing but other than it's amazing. Yeah, so I guess.
Yeah. I know he did Legion too. Noah Hawley's Legion too?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, the Fox series about David Haller. Yeah, that's him.
Oh, put this man on an X-Men movie, please.
Yeah,
Please
yeah.
give him the X-Men.
Yeah, if they give him the keys to the mutant stuff, I feel like they will be A-okay.
Yeah, put him in charge of mutants.
Yeah, give him mutants. We can have somebody else do Young Avengers and the Fantastic Four and some of like the horror and monster stuff and the cosmic stuff. We'll divvy up the keys to the house in other ways. But
I think we're about to enter a renaissance of the comic book genre. I feel like we're about to enter an upturn because
I think
we talked about this before, but July is a very important month for the comic book genre. Between the movie that could revitalize the MCU, which we'll see how Captain America and Thunderbolts play. They both look good, even though
they're a little bit more, well, as grounded as you can be with a giant red Hulk, but it's like and a flying super.
But these are both spin-off of established things.
Yeah.
So like, okay, this is like more par for the course, for lack of a better term. But Fantastic Four is a big risk. Superman is a big risk.
Yeah.
And they're both flagship, because I remember Kevin Feige said the Fantastic Four are going to be important for the future of the MCU.
Well,
so this movie needs
Marvel's,
to work.
You have the first family and the first superhero having some of their most important projects after their, I would say, previous failed attempts in previous universes, during the Dark Ages. So it's like and it's the same month as SDCC. So Super Fantastic July is going to be a scary ass month.
It really freaking is.
Because it's like, I want them both to be great. I'm terrified.
I'm rooting for both of them, and I think both of them are shot in IMAX. And I think it's still wild they chose. Do you think they're both going to end up keeping their release dates? Or I think one of them's going to play chicken.
I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna keep it because they're
2 weeks
just
apart.
Yeah. It's like two and I think it's actually 3 weeks because I think one is right at the beginning and one is right at the end.
Really?
I could be wrong. Fantastic Four could be in the middle, but I'm pretty sure Superman is, I think, the 25th. I think you're right. I think it is 2 weeks. It's just enough time where it's like they will compete, but Marvel will have. Here's the thing: Marvel will have a head start by time, but Superman is fucking Superman.
Well, we'll see if he has his name.
So it's like, does he need it? Does he need a head start? Everybody knows Superman. Most people have probably heard of the Fantastic Four. Like, if you looked at them, you're like, oh yeah, I've seen them. So
Fantastic Four, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Fantastic Four is the 25th of July. Superman is the 11th.
Okay, so I had the dates backwards. Okay. Oh, yeah, so it's literally 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks apart.
Yeah. The 2nd and 4th week of July.
Oh, bitch, they're pulling that shit again that they did with Deadpool. They're dropping the fucking movie the same weekend as San Diego, aren't they?
What year is San Diego coming out? Or not year, what day is our next year?
It's probably that weekend. It's usually that last weekend in July.
Yup, sure enough.
God damn it. Those July crafty bastards. They did it again.
They managed to have... That's crazy. I guess
they did that on purpose. Those sneaky 100%. Bastards.
100%.
That's some nasty fucking work.
They managed to have a film that they're advertising for that they haven't shown a leak of footage for Comic-Con, because that's test footage is not actual footage from the film.
Yeah. Oh, it's not?
No, that's stuff they shot before they went into production. It's
Oh
all
shit!
test footage.
Oh shit!
That's what I was saying earlier. Like they
That's
shot that.
that's impressive.
They were going into production the next day when they showed the comic
Yeah,
as real, and that's the same shit they showed at Brazil Comic Con while they were in the middle of
I
production.
I thought those were just like some very hastily put together dailies that they had. Oh
No, that was
shit!
like, yeah, that was like not even the film. They're like, oh, we're gonna put this thing
That's
together specifically for Comic Con.
that's some spooky shit. Then I'm nervous, not like in a good way, but I'm like, if that's not even their dailies, that was their pre-production footage. Holy shit!
Yeah,
This is they're serious, which is good. I'm glad they're serious. Like they're firing. If that's just their test footage, they're firing on all cylinders.
but the thing is, I'm like, I'm hoping the film is good, right?
Oh
And I
yeah,
think it
yeah,
will
yeah.
be good because they're
I'm.
putting character first, from what I've heard.
That's
But
what
if
it
it's
seems like.
great, I'm hoping it's good. But if it's great, I'm gonna be happy and mad as hell because if it is great and they're putting all this emphasis on it, that means they could have been making great projects the whole time, but they've sacrificed their quality to keep up a production schedule.
Yeah, it's like, well, I mean, that was the complaint, is that they were rushing out too many projects in like too weird times, and I think we now have gotten enough of the over period. Like, I think Deadpool is probably the first sign that we're in that over period where it's like, it's like, everyone's over the multiverse saga. I'm like, okay, so by the time that was in production for that to be written prior to the writer's strike, that means that's when they were aware. So they've known about this for at least a year and a half.
Yeah. So known about it for at least a year and a half.
Yeah, so this is and even Kevin saying they're trying to they're throwing out this last bundle of stuff for like phase 5 and 6 because I think most of it is either done or it's in post. So they're like, look, we just need to get it out. Like I think the reason we're getting 9 things next year is just so they can kind of throw it out. So it's like, it's done. We've already put the money on it. We're not using this as tax write-off. The action figures are already made. Sell what we can, because we probably won't lose money on these because they still make good money.
Yeah, I mean the advertising has been good. I'm looking forward to the Thunderbolts and to Captain America, even though they've low key been doing. The trailers for Captain America have been good. I feel, even though it makes no goddamn sense that fucking Falcon's doing the superhero landing with his fucking normal ass legs. But aside
He
from
trained
that,
his legs really, real good, like how he did with the
you got
shield.
that
He
vibranium.
got insulation in him. It keeps him good and nice.
Keep them joints in place off of that G force.
Stops them from exploding on impact.
For real. But it's interesting because apparently the test screenings did not go great, and this movie's had a lot of reshoots. And they've kind of
Cap, they didn't.
For Cap, and I'm pretty sure they've stealth fired the director and had someone come in and do reshoots. Yeah,
I know they're doing some pickups. I think actually in LA, but I know they're doing some pickups right now, which is really interesting. I'm like, y'all are 3 months out from release. It's not that you can't, but reshoots are normal. Pickups 3 months out, I haven't seen in recent memory. I can't think of anything recently that's had pickups that late, especially after a first official trailer.
Yeah, and I'm curious because I'm pretty sure Julius Anna, that's his name.
You looking for the director?
Yeah, but he hasn't been in any of the talks, other promotional stuff. You don't see him with the cast. Wait, when was the last time you saw him with the cast? Was he there at Comic-Con?
I don't think so.
I don't remember seeing him there at Comic-Con. I don't know what the hell's going on with that movie, but we'll see. We'll see what the hell happens. I'm looking forward to it still. I just hope that everything's okay.
Especially their reworking of Oh God, what was that character's name? Because I think we had talked about this.
Are talking about Isaiah Bradley?
No, 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 no.
Red
Captain
Hulk?
Israel.
Oh.
That whole shebang. I don't think we talked much about that controversy because there are lots of people that have like boycotted her inclusion in the movie. I thought it was a dumb inclusion to begin with because I'm like that was a bad idea to start.
I feel like most people don't know. I feel like the most population don't know unless you're like really looking into it.
I was gonna say it's like most people don't know unless you're like terminally online, and I don't mean that
Exactly.
as an insult. It's like the only reason I knew was because I was online keeping track of the production, and I looked it up, and I'm just like, the fuck is Sabra? And then I saw all these think pieces. I'm just like, oh fuck, why, why? What a weird ass inclusion. What a weird. This could have been literally any of the fuck body else. You picked arguably like one of the worst choices you could have picked, even prior to the political conflict.
I don't think they're going to make a big deal about it. I think they're going to try to make a message about it. They just think there's going to be a character, and it's like a nod to someone in the comics.
Oh yeah, no, they completely reworked her stories than what because she was originally who she was, like I think from the comics,
like just an Israeli superhero, right?
Yeah, I think initially, I think the rumor was that she was supposed to be like a mutant who was an Israeli superhero. How they have remixed her now, and I'm almost certain that was one of the major parts of their initial reshoots. She's now an Israeli former Black Widow and a high-ranking government official who's an ally of President Ross. Because I'm like, they probably initially were just like, yeah, Captain America, Captain Israel. And then October 7th happened and they said, fix that shit right now. They're like, look, we've already paid her. We can't delete her out of the movie, even though you could. You might catch a lawsuit, though. So to avoid that, it's like, well, let's, change her to an ex-Black Widow. And I'm like, sure, all right. So it's like I don't think it was like we won't make nobody mad, so let's try to make some people less mad.
It doesn't bother me. I don't know. They're not trying to like do a thing with it, to my recollection, to what I've seen from the footage.
No, it doesn't seem.
It doesn't seem consequential. So what they're not trying to like.
She doesn't see. I am expecting
unless
her
the movie goes like fuck Palestine. I'm fine. Like
yeah,
it's
I agree. I agree. It's like I'm not expecting her to have more than like 10 to 12 minutes of screen time as a result of a multitude of factors. But from jump, that was just a bad idea to get. It's why? Like I can't see. So your
why
character.
Was that a bad idea?
I think the inclusion of the Israeli, the equivalent of what is functioned like Captain Israel in a movie about Captain America, who is already now a Black man, which is already its own cacophony and tornado of controversy in and out universe. And that's kind of the point. It's a very simple distraction. It seems like something that's too obvious to be distracted, because like even if there hadn't been that incident in October 7th with the bombings and everything, that just would have on paper I'd be like, why the fuck is Captain Israel here in the Captain America movie about America and American shit? What the fuck? It's like that. It'd be just as confusing if you had like Captain Britain showed up. I'm like, what the fuck is Captain Britain doing in this fucking movie? It's Captain America. Like that's my ultimate thing, is just like, I understand we are an international superpower. So a Black man being the face of that has a lot of implications. I think there are more interesting narrative points beyond how does he engage on the world stage that we haven't addressed yet. I think that is a conversation that you can have with this character. I don't think it's the first one. I think you got to grapple with the fact that fucking Thunderbolt Ross is president and we got a Black guy flying around with Cap shield.
Again, it really depends on how to utilize the character. The origin of the character.
Yeah.
Unless the character within the comics was that character in and of themselves represented something evil, and they are a propaganda point to belittle somebody else, then yeah, sure, that's a problem. If you want to use that character and maybe their intentions or what their powers are or whatnot in the movie and repurpose it to fit your narrative, as long as it's not putting other people down, then that's fine by me. It doesn't really bother me that she's included.
Yeah, because they in the reshoots they changed her because she was initially a agent of Mossad, which I believe is their like secret defense force or something like that, like their secret service or something along those lines. So it's like after what happened, they're like, let's scooch that back a little bit. Could have some unfortunate implications. but ultimately, I think for me, it's like he is a symbol of, in its own form and fashion, it's just like America and all the implications that come from that, as well as just like in intersecting with a lot of, issues. So it's like the black male hero that represents all of America, I think has way more interesting problems. Like how do citizens work with that? Now his new sidekick is a flying Latino person. Your symbols of America are, literally the embodiment of like the dark history of the country. I think that is a infinitely more easily explorable theme, especially in the face of like the literal red bad guy.
I don't think the inclusion of a character sacrifices those themes. I think that's still something that can be very prevalent and likely is very prevalent within the film.
I think it is. It just, and again, I'm speaking from a place of just like, we haven't seen the movie yet, and I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna give it a shot because I'm curious to see how they execute it, especially building on the themes from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So it's like it looks good. It looks like a solid like spy thriller, and I'm curious to see what they do with it. In that same token, I guess I couldn't see a significant role that like international characters and heroes would have on the Captain America movie. I think it'd be different if it were like any other hero or if it were an Avengers movie and that was the introduction. Even like fucking Moon Knight, like he was in Egypt. It would make sense for the Egyptian superhero to show up. It would have made sense, but it would have made slightly more sense because Israel's closer to there than to here. But since they're one of our allies and we do have like Marvel does have military contracts, it's like I wonder if that might have been a nudge, but it just I don't know. It seemed just like an odd inclusion when the controversy popped.
Didn't the last Captain America movie not even take place in America?
Civil War?
Yeah.
The climax was in Germany, but that's why everyone calls it Avengers 2.5.
I think the only part that was in America was when they were in upstate New York.
Yeah.
Saving Scarlet Witch and then at the meeting.
Yeah.
But everywhere else was like international, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. But also, that was the third Cap movie.
Yeah, and this is the fourth one. I guess it's a reboot.
But with a new Cap. It's a soft reboot.
Yeah. I mean, granted, this one does take place in America too, and then other places.
Yeah.
Which we've seen. I may have to do a rewatch of Captain America or Falcon and Winter Soldier before going in.
I might have to too, because that one is also international. Like it definitely has a lot of domestic points because he's in Louisiana a good fair bit. There's times when he's in DC. So it's like it is very much that one is very like American centric, and I think it does a solid job of just like, oh, America's influence as a superpower, especially when you get in what is it? I want to call him John Wayne. That's not his damn name. The other Cap.
John Walker?
Yeah, John Walker. And like John Walker's like international incidents and what that kind of represents in terms of America's brutality. That, yeah, absolutely. We're bullies. We are a nation of bullies. Have been, continue to be. So yeah. But ultimately it's like I want to give it a chance, but it's just like just when I initially heard about it, I was more confused than mad. If people want to protest the movie for that reason, go about it. It's your money. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. It's like I'm not going to tell people to see it. I'm not going to tell people to not see it. It's just like, vote with your dollar. If you feel like this was a hard line in the sand and you don't want to see it, it's like, then do it. I'm willing to extend some grace and benefit of the doubt to see it's like, what are they intending to do? But some people don't have that in them, and nor do I blame them for it. So here's what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Wonder Man. Neat.
Neat. We know nothing, and it comes out next December.
So we won't know nothing for most of the year.
He's an actor, and Trevor Slattery's in it, and that's interesting. What does this have to do with superheroes? I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Yep. Yeah.
We haven't got to the big juice yet.
What was the big juice?
Vision Quest? No. I'm talking about our other two topics.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. You want to talk about Penguin?
Yeah, I think I don't know. Is there any other things we should talk about before we move on?
No. We can talk about Penguin.
Okay. All right.
Do you want to do full spoilers for Penguin?
Let's get into it. We'll talk about the whole enchilada.
God damn, what an amazing show. Shit, that was good.
Start to finish good. Incredible.
That's tough, honestly. I don't know, like...
You know how you know a show is good? You know how you know a show is good? When in the middle of tensions, hard times in America, a single show will unite the right and the left under one unity of, damn, that show was good.
Yeah, you're right. I have to give all of the credit to the showrunner, Lauren LaFranc, and how she ran that shit. Oh, shit. She used to... Huh.
I was like, people like the critical drinker and Ben Shapiro even love this show.
Which says a lot.
Right.
Damn, she was a writer for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Chuck.
No way.
Yeah.
That's great. Good for her.
God damn. Yeah, she blew this shit out of the water. The acting was phenomenal. The writing was incredible. How it was shot and composited. Cinematic. They didn't try to make Oz Cobb. Fuck out my face. It's the only minorest of minor nitpicks I had the show was them not calling him fucking Cobblepot and him not wearing the full hat getup. He had the outfit. Just put the goddamn top hat on. But outside of that, like everything else narratively and construction wise, like was fantastic. That episode with the backstory for what's my girl's name? Sophia Falcone. All that broke my heart. That made me want to burn the world down with her. Just the betrayal and the disgust. I'm glad they didn't go out of their way to make Oz a sympathetic villain. He was sympathetic to an extent, but he was a horrible piece of shit since he was 12.
He was understandable. They humanized him without compromising or letting us forget the fact that, no, he is evil. And he has always been evil.
He's always been evil. He sucked his whole life since he was a little chubby boy. And that kid was good too. The young Oz was also good, but
yeah, fuck. And I love it because when I was watching the first two episodes, I was left with this feeling of like, okay, he's a bad guy, but we're understanding him and seeing this other side of him. Is going into the Batman 2 going to be like this morally conflicting thing because it's a guy that we love to watch, but we know he's like has a human side, and it's going to just expand the world. But by the time the show's over,
we get to the end, I'm like, oh, Batman fuck you and die. It's like put him in the dirt. It's like look, if
under the jail.
if Batman killed him, I would just I see nothing, I say nothing. Look, right. Bruce, whatever happens to him, my back is turned.
Exactly.
Stop! No! Help your boy! Please! I don't know what's going on behind me. Right. I guess I'll know when I turn around. Oh no, Oz is dead.
Whoops. Uh-oh.
Something
so sad.
Something has befallen the great Oz Cobb. May
A
he rest
horrible
in
thing has
piss.
happened. May he rest in piss. Yeah, that part.
Yeah, burn in hell and die. Like Colin Farrell did too good of a job.
He
Like,
did. Did you see that video of him from the finale when the show
yeah,
wrapped? And he puts on his Irish accent.
yeah, his accent comes back in. I'm like, who the fuck is this?
Ooh, stop it! No, go back.
Go back. Stop being
Stop
yourself.
talking like that.
Who would have thought an Irishman would be such a goddamn amazing New York Italian or New
For
Jersey
real.
Italian?
I would have never expected it. And all
I mean,
that
motherfucker
makeup
has
and
some
prosthetics
range.
were great. Yeah.
Yeah, he putting on that fat suit and that brace and everything on a daily basis. Commendable.
I hope he wins the Emmy, or at least gets nominated for the Emmy.
Yeah, everybody involved needs a nomination. It's no notes, just no notes.
No notes.
Like even like the longest episode is thoroughly engaging top to bottom. Like I remember
It's really well paced. It's really well paced.
Especially for like 45 to hour long, sometimes longer than an hour episodes. It's even the slow moments are still exceptionally engaging. Like I think the slowest ones might have been Sophia's backstory, still well paced and well acted.
That was a great episode.
That's one of the best episodes. It was amazing. It was just like it was long, but it was also probably the most heart wrenching for me because it just like kept getting worse and worse and worse for her.
She gassed the family that same episode, right?
I want to say yes.
I think so. She did.
I think so.
She
Yeah,
did.
yeah. That was, and yeah, becoming the Gigantes and I was actually hoping for her to get it. I'm like, yeah, maybe she'll go to Bloodhaven, start a new life.
And it's okay. So we can talk about the whole show, and first, I guess we just got to go into the ending because before we go into the ending, what I loved about the show is that it always keeps you on the edge of your seat. Meaning, like, you always put Oz in a situation like, I don't know how the fuck he's gonna get out of this. I don't know how he's gonna talk his way out of it. And this nigga is the luckiest man on earth for the amount of times he got his ass out of situations. Whether it be Vic coming in the car, Sam Maroney having a heart attack. What's his name? Oh, him just being by the sewers so he can escape from the bomb. Like all of this shit. He's just the luckiest man on earth. And he's the most sinister, and he doesn't deserve any of it. But we had to have him rise to power. And I'll be damned if I don't say the nigga played the game. He cheated.
He hustled. He was cheating. He was cheating, but playing everybody.
He was really on his Eddie Guerrero shit this whole season. But
he played the viewer, which is kind of impressive.
That's the best part about this show.
Everybody, including like the watcher, which is some nasty fucking work.
Right, because it's such an interesting show, and you never really know where your main character stands because he lies so convincingly, and he has such a temper, and he's super unpredictable. Which is like, how do you follow a man for 8 episodes and still feel like you don't know him? Because no one in his life really knows him. And
he's a liar, a cheat, and a thief.
Yeah, you make Eddie Guerrero proud. And it's just, and the thing that really cements that, right, is the finale. Well, first, fuck him for killing his brothers. That's crazy.
Killing his brothers was and it's so okay. And I was listening to, I think, Fran for a second when they were talking about it. They're like, do you think
I had a feeling he did that shit too? He's like, the city took him. I was like, nah, you did that shit.
Yeah.
He's technically not lying. But you just pushed him in the right direction for that to be the case.
Yeah, I know on Frame for a Second they're going back and forth, and I had settled where I stood on it. It's like, do they think that he intentionally did he actually forget, or did he let them die. And I definitely am in the camp of just like, yeah, I know. It's like, um,
He didn't forget. He was looking out the window. He's like, I just let it happen. You know, if they get
yeah,
out, they
and
get out.
that's exactly it. It's like he let it happen, which means you killed him. You killed him.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, if they get out, but if they don't,
you lock the door. They're not getting out. You lock the fucking door.
Just checking outside, just like, just in case, just making sure, just like, they're still drowning. Yep, still.
And it's so interesting. And having watched the entire show now, the great thing about it is like watching it once through, it's already a great show because you never know what's going to happen. But it also serves as one of those shows you can rewatch and catch so many more details you didn't catch before because you know the entirety of the story. And I know that because I rewatched it with a friend of mine and I showed him the first episode and I'm like, oh, all this context I did not know. Like you rewatch the first episode where Sophia is seeing Oz for the first time, having then known the backstory and seeing how he's acting, you're like, oh, okay.
He's like, fuck, she got out. The Dane got out of jail.
But like they're saying things and they're speaking between the lines over about things you would not catch unless you've seen the entire show.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, like you didn't know, like, no, you did the right thing. And like you realize like, oh, okay, no, that's a super guilt because of what actually happened. But you don't know the context about why she's putting Arkham in the first place, right? And you can tell in that scene that he knows she's not the hangman. But you don't know that as the audience because you're just watching it in chronological order.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. It's like, oh, what's going on? It's like, you know, even the notion of just like, oh, you want to go, like, even the brother and him just kind of being a little bit of a jacket at the beginning, but then you see it's like he was really, really sympathetic and trying to protect his sister, and I'm like, he didn't even deserve to die, like, especially the way that he went out.
I'll say the one thread that they didn't follow up on was that, what's his name? Oh, Victor. At the beginning of the show, obviously he's like caught. They kind of doing. I don't know if this was intentional or not. It had to be intentional. It's a very smart show, but they essentially make him Oz's Jason Todd because like he's boosting the tires, trying to steal the car off of the Penguin.
And everyone's saying he should have been Jason. I'm just like, yeah. And then I got to the end. I'm like, never mind. I'm glad he wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. So they do a smart thing, but his friend in that same episode gets shot by Sophia, and then the next episode they show him looking at the friend's missing poster, right? And I felt like they should have followed up on that beat. So like, okay, you're the reason my friend got killed. Well, they're not going to now. It's too late for all of that.
And maybe that was the follow up. It's like the city giveth, the city taketh away.
Right. And okay.
You want to talk about the finale?
We can talk about the finale now. We can get into it. You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
They massacred my boy. Why would they massacre my boy?
Family make you strong, but goddamn if it don't make you weak too.
I should have seen it coming, and I was still shocked.
And the way it went down too,
it was
just the worst,
just so brutal. Just like it's like please. I'm like, no, you should have gotten on the bus,
right? Bro.
Just like everyone was like, you don't even know what you signed up for. You should have. And he did all this shit for Oz. Oz would be fucking dead if it wasn't for him.
It would be.
He saved his goddamn life and set him up to be where he was. Took him to see his mother. Took care of her. God, the end sequence and how fucking eerie that was of his mom trapped in a catatonic state where he's just constantly seeking her validation.
Before we get to that point, though, the fact that the mom knew the entire time, that's another one of those things where you go back and watch it and you'll see her resentment towards him. And then having that context as to why that is. Like, oh, damn. And because she's slipping in and out of dementia, she's sweeter, makes it more palatable for her to be around him, which is just so sinister until she remembers what the truth of what actually happened. And then she's like, I hate being in this apartment. And like, no wonder, because that's where you're simulating where you felt like your sons were dying. I'm sure that's tripping up your dementia even more, being in the
Yeah.
apartment that you experienced your trauma in. And yeah, and the fact that her last words were, "You're the goddamn devil." And then because I
He.
listened to the podcast too, and I
Oh,
want
how
to say
was
two things
that?
about the Penguin podcast. Was really good for the most part. I
Okay.
watched maybe episode 1, 2, and then the last episode because like they had like they're trying to get guests like the set designer and shit. I'm like, I want to hear from the showrunner. I want to hear
Yeah.
from Matt Reeves. I want to hear from Colin Farrell, the cast, right?
Yeah.
And most of the episodes were not that, but the first and last episode were really good because Lauren LaFranc said a couple of interesting things. One, that she intentionally named him Victor to mislead the audience and to make them believe he could be Victor's ass at some point in the future. Like, she had that
Oh.
in her mind, yeah.
Okay.
And
That's wild.
two,
That's fucking crazy.
yeah,
I wouldn't have thought of that. She was crazy for that. Okay.
yeah, and two, in that last scene with Oz and his mom looking out in the city, he intentionally does not call her Ma. They made a point of it. Also, another thing that was interesting is that Lauren LaFranc wanted to make it a point that Oz had respect for women. So she intentionally wrote it in a way where he never calls a woman a bitch or is demeaning towards women.
I mean, yeah, I guess kind of, yeah.
No, he is. He is like the entire time. Because there's
No,
one
yeah,
scene where
no. But he's also like a complete and utter piece of shit to his own mother and definitely to Sophia.
emotionally, yeah, but
Yes,
he never calls Sophia out of her
yes,
name.
I agree. It's
He never
like
hits her or
verbally,
anything.
yeah, verbally and physically he is not abusive, but emotionally he is a fucking dirtbag. But it is to
Oh yeah,
everybody. He doesn't discriminate. Basically, he's an equal opportunity piece of shit.
because there's one scene where he goes to Eve, right? And
He's a terrible person, but he's not a misogynist.
that's
He's
the
a
last
bad
time he
guy,
is.
but he doesn't beat his ma.
He's an equal opportunist, Like,
He shoots men, not women. Yeah.
all right, your kids, He wants his slushies all mixed together and shit. But the simple things. What was I gonna say? Oh, but he asked Eve to go with him. Like when like shit's hitting the fan, she's like, I can't go with you, Oz. And then he feels rejected. And in that scene, he's like, stupid, stupid. And it was like, but I feel like another gangster would have been like, stupid bitch. But he didn't do that. He was like down on himself. And
Yeah.
then I don't know if you saw it, but a really interesting thing that was deleted from the Batman. If you go back and look at this deleted scene, it takes place from when Catwoman has the contacts in her eye. And she's going through and Batman's watching her, right? And they cut out this part where she goes to Oz and he's like, you don't want to go down there, sweetheart. Like there's all like, let me take care of you. Like, I just want to like, I'm with you. And she's like, no, that's okay, Oz. And he like tries to give her money. She's like, I don't want your money. And then he like gets all like insecure, like kind of defensive, like, oh, it's okay. Like, yeah, you don't see it now, but they're gonna see it one day. I'm gonna rule this city. And they cut that scene out of the movie.
I would have kept
And then,
that.
yeah.
Okay, had I known we were making a show, I would have kept that. But I guess it's kind of a hindsight. We probably cut it for pacing. Because it is still 3 hours. It's a 3-hour fucking movie. So they probably did cut that one, 5 minutes of dialogue for pacing. It's like, just add it later.
But yeah, that moment informs his character.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting. But to go back just to the end, yeah, they make a point of him never calling when he's standing there, he doesn't call her Ma because like there's this like level of fulfilling an obligation with this emotional detachment because of one, I guess her state probably, but two, the fact that her last words to him. But he still craves, like he resents her. He definitely resents his mother, but he still craves the validation of the mother. That's why he has Eve dress up as her. Tell me you're proud of me. Tell me I'm good, Mom.
Dog,
He's
when he
fucking
came down
hard.
the steps and Ease looked exactly like his mom, I'm like, oh.
I was like, oh,
Because
this is fucked up.
I thought it was like the younger actress for a second. I'm like, no, that's the whoever. Look, the makeup team at least deserves an Emmy. One for Oz, two for turning a black British woman into like an old Italian lady. I don't know how the fuck you did that with just like hair, makeup, and clothes. I don't know how you finagled that bullshit.
Are you British? What the fuck? I didn't know that.
The actress is the character is it?
Oh yeah, interesting. No, they did. They really did their thing with that. And yeah,
Yeah,
there's one thing.
turning a black lady into an American white woman. You worked some fucking magic in like the lighting and the dress and the stylization. Because I was sitting there, I'm like, is that the young mom? Is he's just kind of like having a flashback and he's going psychotic? I'm like, no, that's old girl for what the fuck? Tell me about
Where's she
me.
from?
The actress?
Yeah.
What's her name? Carmen Ijogo.
Yeah, it gets crazy because I didn't realize she was black until you said it. I think it was the blonde wig. I don't know.
Yeah.
She
I
got
mean
that-
the she's passing, I'd say, but yeah, she's Scottish and Nigerian.
Interesting. Okay. Wow. Yeah. They did a great job. They did a phenomenal job. And that weird kink. Oh, I was going to say that ending scene is how Lauren LaFranc pitched the show to Matt Reeves and DC.
Mm.
And they were like, they loved it. They loved the fact, like, the ending scene with Oz's mom in the hospital bed and then going down and dancing with a prostitute. It was like, they're like, oh, that's sick. Yeah, we're going to greenlight the show.
Whatever you need.
And it's interesting. The entire show stands alone without the Batman. Like, you could take out that beginning of like the Batman vigilante saving the city, and it's still a solid show about a man's rise to power. But what makes it that much better is the fact that, they're like, nothing's going to stop us now. And then they don't even show the Batman. They just show the symbol in the back. Which, what I thought they were going to do is like show his penthouse and then show like the bat ears from behind.
Mm-hmm.
That also would have been cool. But even the symbol is just...
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
I
need to look at that end scene again. I didn't see the symbol in the back.
Oh yeah, bro. Like, yeah, watch that end scene. It's great. It's just like, they show the in the distance they show the bat signal in the sky. Mm-hmm. They show it flash.
And let's I think we're on the same page about this. No season 2. No.
You know what's funny? They're talking about season 2.
I don't want it. I don't want it. It's better to...
I don't want it because I'm afraid they're going to mess it up.
Don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't want to see more Penguin. Put him in Batman 2.
He's going to be in Batman 2.
But what I want is this caliber and quality of television, but an anthology series about other Batman villains. Look, if you give me Bane, underground wrestling, coming out of the gutters and trenches as a series, or Ivy, the eco-terrorist, going all throughout the city committing crimes in the name of just like improving the air quality in Gotham, or fucking, I don't know, Clayface, failed actor. Like, I just want an anthology about Batman villains like this.
Well, one, I know that there's rumors that they're doing a Barry Keoghan Joker show.
I don't want that bullshit. Don't give it to me. Get the fuck out of my face.
No, but this Penguin show did a great thing, a very smart thing, which I'm so happy that they did, with one, not killing off Sophia, and two, like alluding to the fact, because there's this piece of knowledge that we know the entire time, because we've all watched the Batman, that
about Selena.
Sophia has a sister, and the fact that they're very tactical in not using that piece of information to the end was beautiful. But the thing about
that's Selena, who I thought was going to show up, where I thought she was going to be like, it's like, we should talk.
Right.
Awesome
But the
Nick
thing
Fury
about
shit.
seriously, but the thing about it though is that last thing we heard from Selena, she was going to be in Bloodhaven. Now, what I would want to see is a Selena Kyle, Sophia Gigante spin-off series leading them back into the Gotham City for Batman 2.
Oh no,
Set in
it's
Bloodhaven.
oh no, it's all of my fantasies. Not not not
My wish
Kristen
fulfillment. No.
not depressed Kristen Milotti and Zoe Kravitz in a skin tight outfit. No,
Oh
no,
God,
oh
please.
God, running the streets and like being mean to men. No, get ew, get
How
it
could
out of
they?
here. I don't want any of that.
Poo poo.
Poo poo, I say. Poo poo on you.
Yuck.
Yeah, Zoe Kravitz and Kristen Milotti as sisters that are like hot but also kind of evil. But I could fix them because I'm different. What? No.
Okay. So what I will say, I don't know if they have enough time to do that sequel, that spinoff, unless it's already in production secretly.
I think they're working on an Arkham series right now,
I
which
think they
could.
canceled that. They're working on the Gotham show, and they're working on
I,
the Arkham show, and they
I thought
canceled
they
it.
killed the Gotham one and kept the Arkham one.
No, it was going to be the Gotham PD.
Yeah, the Gotham
And then they
PD.
converted that into the Arkham show, and they scrapped the Arkham show entirely.
I mean, that's fine. I'll survive.
But I don't know if that's their plan, or if they're just going to introduce Sophia into the Batman 2. But where we leave off, because before we mentioned the spinoffs, you asked would I want a Penguin season 2. My initial reaction is no, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's only one way I would want them to do a Penguin 2 is if the show is different in its execution, but with its intention as far as how they go about it is the same. Which, granted, I don't know what Oz's role is in the Batman 2, so it's hard for me to say
Mm-hmm.
this, but it's likely, not even likely. It's if they do a season 2, which they are talking about. Matt Reeves confirmed that it would be set after the fact. But in this movie or in the show, he has his eyes on the mayor. He has his eyes on Belle Real's
Oh,
spot.
okay.
So rather than what I can imagine the season 2 would be is rather than his rise to power from the um, Gotham underworld, it's his rise to power politically up top. And now it's a political thriller game as opposed to a underground crime game.
I'm with the idea to an extent. I think that would work better as a Two-Face series led by Harvey Dent, building up to Two-Face versus Penguin in like a political-esque or legal-esque situation. Basically, like
Harvey Dent has run for mayor before, right? Isn't that a thing?
In this universe, I don't think so. But
Was that what he was trying to? No, he's running for district attorney. The Dark Knight.
What I'm thinking of is essentially Harvey is picking up on Penguin's rise of influence, both underground and politically, and trying to stop him from being allowed to run as mayor because he knows that he has enough corrupt influence to win. I think that
I like the idea of putting Harvey Dent against Oscop. I think there's genius there, putting those two.
I think those two being
toe-to-toe.
like going toe to toe, because and then you could have Harvey biting off more than he can chew with a witness testimony, who's supposed to maybe be against Oz, who maybe turns on him and gets the acid in his face.
Yeah. And I wonder, I'm curious to know. Well, I'm curious to know two things. One, would Matt Reeves even use Harvey because Christopher Nolan used him, and this is a more grounded world.
Mm-hmm.
It also makes me wonder why the fuck Nolan didn't use Penguin at all. It's just so funny because it's a very grounded kind
Yeah.
of thing. And he could
I
have used Penguin.
I could see Reeves using Dent, but not Two-Face. Not even like Two-Face is too fantastical because Two-Face wasn't Cape Crusader and he was very good. But I could see him using
I could
Dent.
see him using Two-Face. I feel like they'd go more traditional rather than burning up the hospital. Legit do the acid. I don't feel like that's too
Well,
outlandish.
but there's also been like a good amount of Two-Face recently, whether we want to admit it or not. So I think he just want to do. It's kind of like with Joker, where it's like, yeah, Harvey exists, and he has these things going on, but it's like if he did Two-Face, I think he would do Two-Face like Joker, where it's like he might show up at some point, but he's not like a major player. So
Would you want Dent in it, or would you want him to already be Two-Face?
I prefer if we were going to get Dent, I'd rather it just be Dent as himself versus.
You don't want Two-Face at all.
It's not that Two-Face is bad. I just wouldn't want to detract from, I think, more. And again, it's like the first one was based off Long Halloween, which has a shit ton of villains. And so did the original Batman in some form or fashion. So it's like, if it's like, well, we got to put him in. Do you want him as Two-Face or not? What happens to Two-Face? Like, he's a grounded villain, enough. But I could see how somebody whose philosophy kind of competes with Batman might distract from, I think, what you could do with different villains that haven't really gotten as much of a chance to shine. So it's like I'd rather him just be Harvey, the really aggressive like district attorney who's like on good terms with Bruce and may give him a little bit of insight and everything, but he may have a warped sense of justice, but him maybe not going all the way into Two-Face yet. So it's like basically he'd be a strong supporting character. I think that might be a little bit more interesting because like everybody's going to want him to be Two-Face, but I think he can do some interesting work there. Kind of like how Oz in the first Batman was just like he wasn't even an antagonist. He was an annoying supporting character.
Yeah.
So it's
I
like
think I saw something that said apparently Penguin's only going to have 5 or 6 scenes in Batman 2, but I think I might be wrong about that. I'm trying to figure it out.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. He wasn't in the first one that much.
I know, but like with the popularity of the show, like I'd want more Oz in the Batman movie.
I mean, I just want to see him get his ass beat. That's all.
I want to see him get his ass beat, but I also want to see Batman outsmart him.
Yeah. Two things can be true.
Because look, part of me wants to see him get his ass beat, sure, but I'm like, he's not a very physically imposing foe. Like he's more of a mastermind than someone you want to beat up. You can't run either, Batman's stronger and faster than him.
Don't run. You'll just die tired.
You'll just die tired. But yeah, I feel pretty good. It's a great show. And the cool thing about the show is that it's so great as its own piece of media.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it definitely it adds more color and flavor to Gotham City and the world that Matt Reeves set up. But unless the Sophia stuff is essential to the Batman 2, I don't think that you need to watch the show in order to watch Batman 2 because Batman 1 already implies that he's going to take a grab for power because of Carmine. But having all this extra stuff, knowing all the obstacles he had to go through, only makes that journey that much more compelling. But by the time we get to Batman 2, he's already going to be in the place that Batman 1 implied him to be in from the ending.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting because despite them being in the same universe, they both functionally can stand alone by themselves. And it's more like if you know or you're familiar with certain Easter eggs, that's great, but it's not required. Like you don't have to have seen the Batman to be able to get through Penguin. Like I recommended it to people that probably haven't seen the Batman. I'm like, it's just great all on its own. It'll piss you off, but it's very, very good.
Yeah. And it's interesting how contained it is too. I mean, yes, it's contained because it's more so about the Falcone's effect, but a lot of the Batman has to do with political corruption as a whole, like, and it barely deals with the political corruption side of things. Just that one councilman, and the whole renewal fund that Riddler was up in arms about. It never really touched, even though Carmine had such a big role in that whole thing. Like they barely scratched the surface of his influence over Gotham City,
Right.
which seemingly you would think Oz would inherit that influence, but then again we have Bella Real, and Batman trying to clean up the city. So maybe we're just not going to touch on that until Batman 2.
Maybe. I guess we'll see how it progresses.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Great show. Tell your friend.
Tell all of them.
Yeah, first time in a while, I've just like sat down and watched something that was a drama. I'm like, damn, maybe I need to give some of these mafia shows another chance. It definitely took me back to a couple conversations I've had with some very interesting, unique Italian folks there. But yeah. All right. You want to talk about the last thing, especially with us talking about political intrigue enough earlier and American justice system and all that.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. This will close this out. Very much need a place to kind of talk frustrations and weird shit that's been going on. So the elections happened here in America and didn't go as planned, I would say, for me and pretty much everybody I know personally. I was expecting Kamala to pull through, given the relatively ardent support and financial backing. Allegedly, this was like the most money the DNC has ever spent on one candidate, despite her only, going for 100 days. So she lost pretty clearly to Donald. So he's going to be returning as president. Yeah, I was, we were talking about it online in our group chat and everything. It's like, there's just a lot of disbelief, a lot of thoughts going on. The statistics came out soon after about just like voting demographic numbers, and Kamala's highest support population was Black women, Black men, and Latina women, respectively. So I think it was like 92, 78, and I believe 61. And so I know on social media I saw a lot of Black women kind of apologizing for the misinformation that Black men weren't supportive of Kamala, even though statistically it's like, I think we were trending at like 70% prior to the elections. I already knew it. I was like, well, that's not true. It's like, I know that Black men are supporting her. I just, in the multiple ways that I've tried to like analyze it, I can think of so many different hiccups and mistakes that I think contributed. And I think where I came, part of the conclusion is just like not enough time, not enough of a individualized kind of identity. DNC just not knowing how to connect with a large chunk of like the voting base. I would say it's like things like that are a lot more strategic and policy oriented and engagement oriented and things like that. I think that's like 85, 90%. But, and this again, me putting my conspiracy hat on, I think 10 to 15% is just kind of like flat out misogyny and racism to an extent, just like people not fully being on board with the idea of, a biracial woman taking up that position. Again, I think the majority of it is a lot more structural, political, strategic, whatnot. But I think a not insignificant amount is just flat out bigotry, whether it's conscious or unconscious. That's kind of my thought. Yeah, it just I was disappointed, and then just thinking more about it, it's like I was getting mad and tired, just because it was like so. They made it seem so sure, like she really had it. I'm like, oh, okay, I don't have to worry too much. Things are going to make sense. And it was especially weird because there were states that were almost blue all the way down, except for president, including where I live at, where we were blue in the major college towns. We were blue, I think, governor wise. I don't remember if we were blue Senate wise. I think we were actually Republican in that regard. But we were like, there was a predominant leaning of Republican votes coming out of my state. And I was like, what the shit happened here? So, and I could see the blotches of the red when I looked at like the map and everything. But yeah, I think there's just like a lot of anger because there is no, for me and a lot of people, it's like Kamala was like my radical option. Like that was the one where I'm just like, oh, this is as far to the other side as I'm going to swing. It's like I'm on board with a lot of her domestic stuff, but I don't agree about everything she has to say, like internationally. And I might have some agreements, but I can see some progression. But just it seemed simple just because it seemed like Trump was very much somebody that espoused a lot of rhetoric that was just like frankly anti-American, just like not interested in many of the, it's like wanting to get rid of affordable care, wanting to deport citizens, wanting to get rid of tariffs. And as we saw,
well, he wants tariffs. He's really like.
Oh yeah, sorry, I had it backwards. Thank you. It's like wanting more tariffs, which fucks up import jobs and shipping jobs a lot too, in terms of like pricing and getting stuff in. What we saw after that was people like, oh, can I change my vote? Oh, what are tariffs? I'm like, oh God, it's like it takes 5 minutes to look the shit up about like what's on your ballot. And again, it's like this could be my bias. It's like I am far from politically educated in any regard. I'm pretty bad at that actually. Like I have to go back every couple of weeks and remind myself who my mayor is since I've moved and who's in my city council and what do they stand for. Pretty decent people. But like, looking at it's like who the fuck is my senator? Who is my local representative? So it's like I'm far from somebody that's politically aware. I'm not going to pretend like I know everything that every person's saying. But for so many people to, at least in my opinion, vote actively against their own interests. Yeah. I'm not saying you have to agree with a political candidate in any regard. I think part of the responsibility is like you got to put a lot of pressure on them to be the person that you want them to be. So if I was going to like vote for Kamala or show my support, I would also like push for my political representatives to kind of nudge her away from like certain things and be like, hey, or even if it's like writing emails or letters, to be like, hey, it's like we want less of this or more of this or whatever. So I don't know. There's a lot I could say, but I kind of want to give you a chance to kind of say your thoughts too.
It was definitely a very shocking and disappointing and just overall kind of shitty night, at least on my end of things. I feel like you feel a similar way.
Yeah.
I really wanted to find a way to make sense of it. And it's because it becomes the thing about identity, right? And morals. and it's so funny because so many people voted for Trump, like overwhelmingly. Like this is the first time in over 20 years that a Republican candidate won both the popular vote and the electoral college. And it's
Yeah.
also the first time since the 1800s a president has won non-consecutive terms.
Yep.
This hasn't happened since the 1800s, which is
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. It's very, very weird.
And so about it had to do maybe like a week ago or a little under a week ago at this point. I have a friend who doesn't live in the States right now, but he was born here and spent most of his life here. And he's in Costa Rica at the moment. And it's like, I feel like it falls into one of two camps. It falls into or one of a few camps. But one of these camps is my friend, right? So we were talking, and he said that he didn't vote. But if he did vote, he would have voted for Trump. And I was like, what? And I was just like, baffled, beside myself, like disgusted, right? And then he tried to like backpedal and say like, oh, like, why should I like? He said something to the effect of like, vote for her because she's a woman and like because she's of color. And I was just like, what? No, it's not even about that, bro. It's like, what are you saying right now?
Yeah.
And then he was yeah, trying to say like, I don't know, man. I don't keep up with this political shit. I don't want to talk about. Like, I don't talk about politics and all this stuff. And in that moment, right, I was trying to shift my lens from one of my point of view of overwhelming disgust and anger, frustration, to trying to have a sense of empathy and understanding for where my friend was coming from, right? And what it ultimately, what'd you say?
I'm finding it.
I'm finding it. And I think what it ultimately comes down to is it's funny because I was telling him all these things, right? Like, yeah, like the eating the dogs, eating the cats, like the stuff about what he's saying about deportation, the stuff about what he's like his stance on women's rights, right? And he didn't know any of this stuff, and it goes to show the divisive nature of what we consume,
Yeah.
right? Because we now live in a world where you can cater your information to what suits your beliefs, or even vice versa. What beliefs suit, or what kind of content is in line with your personal beliefs, and everything the algorithm will feed you will either A, support those beliefs, or B, feed you information that furthers you into those beliefs. And when you consume content that forces you to that puts you in a position to question authority, question reality, question what you're reading, what you're seeing in front of you, it then makes the crazy option seem not crazy, which is dangerous. Because I remember I was talking with him and I was getting so frustrated. I was like, we live in a fucking day and age where we're clearly looking at something that's fucking purple, but because you're reading artifacts on a side of the internet where everybody else is questioning purple, you're looking at this shit. You're like, I don't know, is purple really purple? And like, nigga, we all have eyes. The shit's fucking purple.
Right.
But because of the echo chambers that we allow ourselves to be in, it makes simple things seem more complicated than they actually are.
Yeah.
That in combination with there was a high priority, right, of inclusion and social justice efforts, right?
Sure.
And the and social justice policies, and I feel like the Republican Party, or the Trumpist Republican Party, utilized their warping and manipulated the camp that is now questioning reality more than ever since the the pandemic, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we wouldn't even be in a position like this had we not gone through COVID, because I feel like with things like the vaccine, with people being inside, with people kind of gravitating towards the internet, and then
It's
in
kind
a
of how
state of
Q exploded
loneliness.
too.
Hmm?
That's kind of how Q exploded during that time period too. It was just like the like everyone was indoors, everyone was kind of paranoid. So it's just like
Yeah.
yeah.
So you're supporting and taking content that's backing your paranoia. You get
Mm-hmm.
half the country, or more than half the country, questioning vaccines, and then questioning vaccines, questioning the government, questioning everything. And I don't think it's wrong to question those things, but I
No.
also think it's important to add or keep in mind your morality and intention behind the things that you're questioning. Because, granted, I think the
Mm-hmm.
one thing we can maybe agree on, right, is that rich people in power don't have our best interest
Yeah.
in mind.
Yeah.
But because the rich people of power have money invested, and they don't, it's such a nuanced thing, right?
It is because I building off.
Because I feel like there's
Yeah.
corruption. No, because again, going back to like, we're
Mm-hmm.
making the crazy seem normal, we're making the crazy seem sane.
Yeah, because there's so
Why the
much
fuck?
crazy
Hold on,
shit.
hold on. Why the fuck
Mm-hmm.
do you believe the motherfucker whose catchphrase is "you're fired" is gonna be responsible for making you rich? It's gonna be responsible for bringing your jobs back. But because he's the voice of questioning what you perceive to be the corrupt authority, he, as a crazy option, what seems on paper as the crazy option, makes sense in your brain. He, as the representation of the government, the establishment of what you perceive it to be, does not have your best interest in mind. It now makes sense. But that's the thing. Just because an establishment doesn't have your best interest in mind
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean the rich narcissist does either.
Right. Exactly.
So it's baffling, right? And I feel as though, and I'm trying to take in like information from multiple sources, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching these things, and from what I've gathered, it feels as though, because this is the highest turnout for young men, for the Republican side,
Mm-hmm.
and if I think there is this. This fatal combination of people having hyper access to the internet,
Mm-hmm.
men feeling lonelier than ever
Mm-hmm.
and feeling discarded, and possibly within certain sectors of race and gender, feel forgotten by the Democratic Party, I suppose, right? At least this is what I'm hearing
I've heard the same.
that the
I've
right
heard
is
similar.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's a lot of the reason there's like this growing frustration of people on who maybe in any other circumstance would not be voting for Donald Trump. Would, if you look, like, if you just ask them without knowing what they're, if you ask them straight up what questions are about how they feel about X, Y, and Z, they'll likely vote more Democratic without knowing that those are Democratic policies. But because of one, there is this faith attached to it, they're going to vote Republican,
Yeah.
which is, it's just a shame. And it's just
It's
a, and it's such a
stupid.
messy game, because I kind of, just to go off of what you're saying with Kamala's views on foreign policy, I'm like, yeah, that's part of the reason why y'all lost. Y'all trying to play Republican light in this motherfucker.
Yeah,
Y'all
got
trying to
endorsed
be
by fucking Cheney. I'm like the actual
endorsed by
villain,
Cheney,
the
but
actual
then y'all
villain.
also trying to do the border wall shit, which is like, why would they go to? It's like, it's fucked, because I'm like, y'all are playing the game, right? Y'all are trying to be like,
Yeah,
okay, we're progressive,
we're
but we have to do this.
bipartisan. Yeah,
We're progressive, but we're trying to do this border wall shit because that's what Trump's really running on, right? But then the motherfuckers y'all are trying to win are like, we don't care about the social stuff because we feel forgotten, and why would we go to you for the economic slash border stuff when the guy who's the head of it, who put our country in a position to have such an extremist view about the stuff in the first place, why would we go to the diet Republicans when we'll just go straight to the source?
Right.
So y'all trying to play this game rather than trying to be liberal and represent something that is the opposite of what you're fighting against. You try to do a cheap imitation of them, which is just so messed up, man. And it's sad. It really is sad, and it sucks because, and maybe you've heard something different. It's just the content I've taken in, but we had somebody who was progressive and questioned the system on a Democratic side, and his name was Bernie Sanders.
Yep.
And the Democratic machine tried to warp and twist and push him out so they could get their candidate, their safe candidate, that was more in line with their financial interests, with the lobbyist interests, in a Joe Biden.
I've heard the same.
So
yeah.
It makes it like, can we trust the system? No, but just because you go with the option that is not the system doesn't make it the right option, because that option is just corrupt and even worse, ignorant than the system you are mistrusting in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, this motherfucker has Elon Musk as a head of like commerce or some shit like that.
Dog, did you just see about
Dr. Oz?
No, wait, there's Dr. Oz shit?
Dr. Oz is like the head of like the CDC or some shit like that. He's like head of like medical shit now.
I was talking about the shit with Vince McMahon's ex-wife. Like Nancy McMahon.
The fuck happened with her?
I think she's like head of education or something.
What?
Hold up. Linda McMahon.
Why?
She is set to be Secretary of Education.
Oh, I don't even know what it means. Okay. Also, the thing about Trump trying to like bank on tariffs. Did you realize Americans pay for fucking tariffs? You say you're going to up these tariffs, but the United
the price
States
is about to fucking jump, my boy.
Exactly, and
it's
like
about to get gnarly. People are already losing bonuses because of it.
Man, and it's fucked because every time a president puts in policies, right, to improve the economy, you don't see the long-term effects of that until the president's next term. So then whoever is in power, by the time that things are in an uptick, that's the person who gets credit for it.
Yep. That's
from all accounts that I've heard, Biden improved the economy, but then Trump's going to get the credit for it, even though he's already in office. But because he's in his last term, he's going to do all his shit that's going to fuck with the economy. And the next person is going to get all the blame for how shitty things become.
That's why people were saying Trump had a good economy. It's like he inherited it from Obama.
Exactly.
So it's like yeah, because it's like you won't really feel it till like 3-4 years in. So it's like, yeah, it started getting better. You know, it's like you had 2 consecutive Obama terms. So it was already an all right place. And he got, you know, it's like after the financial crisis and everything, he got repaired, it got better. And he got shitty again under Trump. But you didn't feel it until you got to Biden, who started to work on it and it started to get better a little bit in comparison. And now it's like Trump's coming back. And so it's this ebb and flow. But sorry, what were we saying?
No, that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah.
It is just sad, man. It bums me out.
It yeah, like even to, especially to what you were saying, it's like I think the government, at least on a federal level, doesn't have the best interests of its citizens at heart in terms of who they install in power? Yeah, like your state and local government are going to do way more significantly for you that will direct you and your well-being as a person than probably your federal will, you know, than for the whole country. It doesn't mean that it's not important. It is still very much important because this impacts like much larger aspects, like, you know, things like how Roe v. Wade got removed instead of it being codified into law and shit like that. So it has massive, wide sweeping implications, you know, changes and adjustments to abortion the tariffs is the current conversation. Citizenship, accessibility, Obamacare, which is just affordable health care, being potentially pulled out, and people not realizing the terrible implications of that, like losing access to that statement that makes it that you can stay on your parents' insurance till you're 26. So, we're both older than that, so it's not really something that applies to us, but the next generation is kind of fucked if they pull that. And it's like, even part of the issue with that concept of popularity is like when people were like, oh, affordable healthcare for all. Yeah, I'm down for that. But if you call it Obamacare, fuck that, because I don't like that guy. For one reason,
So
it's like,
fucking dumb,
and it's so petty, and it's so one issue. It's like Trump cares just Obamacare under another name to some extent, because he's just slapping his name on stuff. And it's just, he's a demagogue and a charlatan who I think is slightly surprised that he's gotten as far as he had. And I think at this point he just feels like he has to keep up the bit.
Yeah, and it's wild because we're seeing all this stuff that seems obvious about he's not fit to run a country.
It's fucking 80s. There's a chance he could die in office. I had the same feelings about Biden. I'm like, that motherfucker might pass he almost did.
He almost did.
Earlier this year. He had
but
COVID.
The thing is what I learned from talking to my friend is that a lot of the people that voted for Trump don't even know about all the shit that he's done, all the shit that he said. No. Because they're in their echo chambers. They just hear positive stuff about him, or they take, for example, like the debate, clearly obvious that this motherfucker lost. He's saying crazy shit. But what do they come back with? A spin that, it's 3 against 1. Oh, it was unfair. And then that's all his supporters feel. I was like, I'm sorry, any side that's on the same side with the fucking Nazis are the bad guys.
You're the bad guys. You're the baddies. It's you.
You're literally, you're standing with the Nazis because you voted for a guy who refuses to denounce Nazis.
Yeah, like the easiest fucking thing. Nazis suck. If you're a Nazi, go fuck yourself. It's very easy to do. Like, even with that initial debate, again, I'm not like a slick, diehard Kamala. I do have like critiques of her and her policies, but I can also see it's like decent track record. Even it's like there are multiple conversations, even in my own echo chambers. I don't deny the fact, but it never crossed my mind even once to go like farther down. It's like, well, maybe the opposite side has the answers I seek, because it's like that opposite side has never had my interest, particularly my community interest at heart.
No.
They have been the ones that have persistently, like those that have been more conservative leaning, had the disinterest of people that, look like me and whatnot. But also people that don't like me. They don't like working class people. And rich people gatekeep their money. It's like, that's why you have people like, Andrew Tate and whatnot that will peddle classes on like manhood, where you have to pay money. If they really wanted to help you, they'd be giving out the game for fucking free. And it's like, and that motherfucker sucks too. He sucks ass. He's evil as shit. Going off his allegations, they're still allegations, but regardless, like just saying total horse shit.
What I will say, though, is that I do think part of the reason this is happening, and if you disagree with me, I'm curious to hear your stance and have a larger discussion about it, is that I feel like the Democratic Party went about it the wrong way in trying to gain and flip and garner that younger audience outside of the Black community, because we all knew where we stood.
We're consistently like
Democrat.
Yeah, we're consistently Democrat.
So the thing is that Kamala did not go on any podcast other than like 2, and that's where a lot of these younger people are. Like, apparently she refused to go on things like Rogan and Flagrant and Theo Vaughn, which is where a lot of people are. And and JD Vance and Trump both had conversations with this motherfucker for like 3 hours, really giving, and then Theo Vaughn for like 3 hours, really giving
like Logan Paul, Theo Vaughn, Joe Rogan. Like, I think they did go on Flagrant. I haven't followed them since that Shits and Gigs incident.
They did go on Flagrant. But the thing about these podcasts, right, is that unfortunately in our system, most of the people that vote don't care about policy. It's essentially
No.
a popularity contest.
Yes.
And you are a new
It's
candidate who
vibes.
has 100 days left. You're going to want to get people to understand and like you and know who you are. But if you're not willing to go within a casual context that's outside of your control, that creates a sense of mistrust within the people that already are skeptical of the system in the first place.
They don't see you as relatable or personable.
Exactly.
Which is part of and that's part of the DNC's issue too, because
I'll be honest, dude. I don't think she, like, as far as charisma goes, I don't think she had it. Not like Tim Walsh did.
Not until like the 11th hour I started to see it come out. And again, it's unfortunately part of the game that you have to be like, quote unquote, likable to an extent. It's like, I don't like Trump, but I have heard descriptions and they're just like, well, he's funny, he's quotable, he's memeable. Those are personality attributes. I'm like, yeah, I can see how you could come to that. I don't like the guy, but
have you seen any interviews or podcasts or anything with Trump?
I've seen like probably snippets from like news that I've seen.
So I think it's important to take in, even though it can be aggravating and frustrating, but I do think it's important to take in those contexts of the other side, so you can try to even though it's frustrating, to try to even have an inkling of understanding of where people are coming from.
Yeah.
Right. And the thing about Trump is he's so brash and like talks around things, and
that I have seen.
Yeah, and
I saw a couple good clips of him during the debate. I'm like, you didn't even try to fucking approach that question.
And that's how he is in conversation as well.
Yeah.
But the thing is, people, I was gonna say for better or for worse, but they see him in longer forms, and they see he's not afraid to be whatever himself is, and people are like, okay, we like that he's
just abrasive.
It goes back into the thing that they're like, okay, he's authentic, so like, oh, we like the fact that he's authentic, and then Kamala only wants to be within controlled environments. I was like, man, if she was like out here, like, I think she talked to Charlemagne. Oh, she did talk to Charlemagne, but I didn't see that interview.
She did.
I didn't get to see that interview, so I'll be honest about that. But if you want to like call her daddy podcast,
she was gonna call her daddy, and that one wasn't even like their usual format. Apparently, it was like very structured and strict, and I know that there is this weird situation that happened with what's the guy's name? The guy that does like Subway Confessions, where he initially had one shot with her, but he took it down for some kind of it. I'd have to remember. It seemed a little silly to me.
Weird. But that's something I personally don't like or agree with. So, like, fucking, we see Obama getting his hair cut like by niggas on YouTube, and I'm sure Obama, if he was not running in the 2010s or running now, I'm sure Obama would have been all over the podcast, over the podcast scene, talk to anybody.
I think he and Michelle had their own podcast for a time. If not, it still exists. So it's like and that's the thing about Obama. Say what you will, motherfucker was charismatic and calm, cool, and even keeled, even in the face of just like blatant horse shit. Like he made drone striking children sound pretty lax. It's like, well, let's be honest, we killed some people, tortured some folks, but hey, it is what it is. Part of America. It's like, well, he made it sound cool. Let's just like sending robots overseas to destroy whole towns and cities. It's like, yeah, but that nigga was cool when he destroyed those poor innocent people.
The nigga's not smooth though.
Yeah, like, but he had on that beige suit, bro. Like, come on. He had that shit on though when he hit that button and said destroy them. Like,
yeah,
it's like I would be inclined to agree that part of it was, and that's why I also think about the time factor. I'm like, if she had more time to kind of cultivate a little bit more of like a personality or identity, where it's like, even that weird shit where Drew Barrymore was like, we need Mamala. Like, I think that's silly and kind of stupid, but that could have been something.
But here's the thing though, like, it's two things for me.
Like, she is very much like a by the books politician that doesn't translate well to a vibes-based political economy.
We didn't choose her.
No, we didn't. They picked her at the last minute because Joe was about to fucking die. And they had 3 years. And I was pissed about that shit when it was announced. I'm like, you had 3 years to come up with the fucking candidate, and you sat on your fucking hands. You were pushing the old fart who's 2 sniffs away from death's door.
He was stubborn. He didn't want to. And then they were like, oh, fine. I'll do it at the last second because I'm not capable of fucking debating and being of stage presence. Exactly.
Just 2 geriatric
and I'm willing to bet
guys.
If they did do another election, another Democratic election for their candidate, I don't think she would have won it, dude. I don't think she would have gotten it.
Because she was remember, she was the one against Biden before he picked her as VP.
And I think that America is tired of now. I wish I could remember the people's feelings about Hillary, but I think people are tired.
People didn't really like Hillary much either, aside from like some white women, and even then.
Okay, so I think people at this point, what are we fucking almost like 10 years into this shit? Yeah, we're tired of 3 years election, 3 elections in a row of not voting for the person we want for the Democratic Party, but voting against Trump.
God, but
that's
yes,
what people are voting for.
Fucking yes, Jesus.
It's 3 elections
protest
in a row.
Votes. Tired of fucking protest votes. It's pissed me. Those are all my adult elections since I've been able to vote. I just missed the window, for like Obama. So
Obama was the last Democrat we were excited for. Bernie, we were excited for. But every election since then, I was excited for Bernie, but I guess we just don't want Trump to win, so we'll just vote for the other side, even though we don't like them either. But we just got to pick the lesser of the 2 evils. But because of the internet and perception, they believe the fucking narcissistic billionaire is the lesser of the evils, even despite the evidence that he's clearly not.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not going to act like there's not things to critique about the Democrats, but God damn it, they don't know how to, I think, engage with the population, and they don't understand that people are look, in an economy where people will drop jobs at like the drop of a hat, it's like we're fickle, very emotional these days, whether we want to admit it or not, very vibes-based society. Your personality will be able to carry you farther than your policy, aside from people that actually investigate your policy.
Yeah.
So it's like it worked for Biden, but I think Biden might have lost had we not had COVID and Trump not bungled that so badly. I think he probably would have lost because it wasn't
won.
He barely won. It wasn't by a huge margin. So it's like it was by a noticeable one. Similar to this one, like the fact that Kamala did as good as she did given the circumstances was surprising, but the fact that she lost the popular vote was kind of what got me. I'm like, oh shit, y'all.
Did you see what the final vote count was?
It was
no. Like, I want to round up for simplicity's sake.
Yeah,
it was 74 million versus 76 million.
Damn.
Well, I guess it was more closer to 77 million because he had
like 76.5 or something.
Yeah, 76 million 705,104 votes.
Damn.
So he had 50% of the votes and she had 48.3% of the votes.
Yeah, that's tight. So it's like I commend her for being able to do what she did in 100 days, but top to bottom, just like how they structured that, how they planned that, her being the pick so fucking late. Yeah, it was a desperate Hail Mary. They put all this money, don't get me wrong, love Meg Thee Stallion, but trying to make her rallies into concerts as a form of connecting with the younger people. It's like, treat them like people. I think that's why Tim Walz kind of, at least for that initial window of him being picked as the VP, did so well because they're like, oh, he's like down to earth. He's like a football guy. He helps out in his community. He had a good reputation, and he's not afraid to call Republicans fucking weirdos because a lot of them and most conservatives are fucking weirdos. They're fucking weirdos with weird obsessions with like kids' genitalia and shit. And like, navigating like women's bodily autonomy and these weird preoccupations with a foregone version of America that never existed for anyone in the working class. So it's like, and even touching on what you were talking about earlier with just men and everything, because I was so pent up, and I almost did a video about it. It's like I don't, and I've seen some nuanced conversations, particularly for like black men, just because in the wake of like the results, there was a lot of going back and being like, we owe black men an apology because they really showed up and showed out in pretty solid numbers. But it's just like not knowing how to talk to men. And I'm biased where it's like I have friends like you and some of my other homeboys and everything. I have good, healthy relationships with the men in my life. It's like I have people that I consider brothers, people like you. I have, my father's in my life. We talk from time to time. We can hold the conversation. Not act like we agree on everything, but it's like we can hold the conversation, and I know that there's love there. It's like that basis on the right, I think, can reproduce that sense of confidence that I don't think you see as much, or we haven't seen since like Obama. Like Obama was a strong, like confident guy who was very assured of himself. So people say they like, so it's just like being able to court men and know it's like, hey, this is how our policy is going to work out for you, but not in a way that's talking down to men. Like, you need to get out and vote, and you need to do this, and you need to, fight for women's rights. You do need to do those things, but not seeing how it benefits them. So it's like, look, if you vote for me, I'm going to raise the minimum wage so you can take care of your family. It's like it's like, so that way you can have more downtime for yourself. You can engage in your hobbies. You can go fishing, or you can spend time with your wife. You can have more expendable funds. You can, it's like, I'm going to advocate for like more vacation days and more unions or something like that. So they can get your money up and you can have more holidays. It's like, you want to be a traditional man? Well, you need money to do that. You want to be able to buy a house and put your family in it? You need money to do that. So I want to do that for y'all. It's like, things like bodily autonomy. It's like, yeah, it's not just the negative impacts to like women and people with vaginas and whatnot. It's like, look, do you want to have your kid? It's like, if your baby is about to kill your wife, I want you to be able to go to a hospital and have her taken care of with the best, medical technology it has to offer. It's like, you got to know how to talk to people, and I don't think they do. And I think the DNC is too afraid or chicken shit, not only to court men, but even just like men that are even slightly more aligned. I'm not a huge Hassan Piker fan. Kind of consider him a little bit of a yapper, honestly, at times. So I couldn't really get into his stuff. But like, he had to like use one of his associations, I think, to I forget the name of one of the online media, Young Turks, because I think his uncle is on Young Turks, to be able to get like media pass to the DNC. And then they kicked him out. I'm like, why aren't you talking to fucking all these goddamn streamers out here? That's like, that's where niggas are going. It's like, they're on Twitch, they're on YouTube, they listen to podcasts. Case in fucking point. It's like,
listen to AOC. I'm sure she would give you some great advice about how to reach the young people.
Yeah, it's just like, just talk to guys and talk about. It's like, guys don't want to feel alone. It's like, well, it's like, you might feel alone because you may not have enough money for the clothes that you want, or to be able to take a girl out on a nice date. You want money. People got to pay you more. So I'm going to force it. So the system makes it. It's like, if you work at a public company, if you work at Walmart, you're getting $20 an hour. It's like, fuck yeah. It's like, fuck yeah. Now I want to work at Walmart and stimulate the economy. Cause now I can like I can get some new shoes that make me feel good about myself. It's like, I'm going to work on more programs that are like able to, some more support like men in the prison system, so that when they get out, they can have stable jobs, and shit like that. Nonviolent drug offenders and shit. I know some people don't give a damn, but other ones do. It's like, help men believe that the country can be great, because that's how Trump got them, where he looked at all those rural folk and it was just like, look, if you vote for me, I'm going to make the country good. I'm going to make it whatever you want. I'm going to make it the nightmarish, conservative Christian hellscape that you want it to be. Which the thing is, a lot of people think they want that lifestyle. I'm like, you don't. It's way too much pressure and responsibility on yourself. financially. You're going to crash out. You're going to hit your wife. You're going to punch one. You're going to yell at your kids. You don't want that because you're going to be stressed all the goddamn time. You think you want it because you have this image of what America was like in the 50s. But here's the reality of it. It's like that was good for, especially for a lot of like people of color that aspire for that American image. It was rich white people that had that. If you live in a place that was impacted by a hurricane or a tornado within the last 4 years, you're not in that category. I'm sorry, you can't afford to live there. Nice communities don't really get hit by hurricanes. Yeah, no. So it's like you can't afford to live where those rich people with the white picket fence and the 2.5 kids and the dog. You're not living up there. You're not up in Yale parts of Connecticut. You're not in like in the Beverly part of the hills. You're not up there. I'm sorry, dog. But that's okay. It doesn't mean that you don't deserve a quality, happy, satisfactory life, but it's going to come with a little bit of effort. You got to have it's like you want to date women, you need a personality, my dog. You need to wash your ass. You probably have to, and you have to have some ambition. It's not hard to date. It takes a little work to fuck, but it's like that. I was like thinking about doing a video because I'm like, people just don't know how to talk to dudes. And even when I see videos about like, oh, guys have like shallow friendships and don't, talk to each other about deeper issues. I'm like, we do when we're comfortable, but we just don't ask about certain things because the other person will just tell us. It's like if things are going hard and it's somebody I trust, just tell them. But guys also don't want to be a burden. Men don't want to feel like they're being spoken down to or lectured to, which is a common issue. It's like we want to be seen as equals, especially by like the women in our lives. We want to feel like we have a use and a contribution to society. We want to feel empowered. That's not to say that requires taking that empowerment from other people, from marginalized groups, from queer people, from women, from other people of color. It just means that everybody wants to stay on the same footing.
They don't want to feel like they have value again.
Yeah. And so I think That Dang Dad had a pretty interesting take on what was going on. And he's like, he was trying to figure out why he was still receiving such kind of not great reaction from generally just like straight guys, like cis straight guys. And in an effort to build empathy between men and those that were not men, it wasn't working because he couldn't find just one issue that was exclusively affecting like cis straight guys. It's like, it's like, man, it's really hard to date out here. Nobody's like clear cut about what they want. Or if I say what I want, they're going to leave. It's like, yeah, pretty much everybody has that issue. It's like, oh, well, there's an issue with the job market. Nobody pays enough. And I feel like my labor isn't being respected in the field of work. It's like, yeah, kind of everybody issue. Some people are like more impacted than others. So he was trying to build that bridge of empathy, but not being able to find it where it's like, oh, you should be able to relate to these people on this, like, but still kind of getting that, but it's different for me though. So it's like there are kind of some people out there that want to feel like victims and want to be saved by these greater systems. And it sucks because they don't give a shit about you. Two things can be true. I think Trump is proactively bad for the country? Yes, I think he's worse than Kamala. Would things have been universally amazing if she was president? Possibly not. Because she still has, her own interests and her own political allies that she would have to appease to. Had a goddamn had fucking old boy endorsing her, as well as like other people, whoever she got money from. I can't remember because I can't remember like the whole list of where DNC was taking endorsements. But it's like, but stop talking down to American citizens. We have to be better about just transparency. We're in an age of constant information and misinformation, and all of it gets conflated because our news sources are fucking comedians and YouTubers and Twitch streamers. And I'm not saying that that's right or wrong. I get my regular news from a YouTuber. I get it from Philly D generally, because that's all I can honestly emotionally stomach on a regular basis. But so it's like, I am also part of the audience. I'm part of the issue. But it's just it was so frustrating kind of seeing those conversations. Like, what do we need to do? We need a Joe Rogan of the left. It's like, no, you just got to figure out how to make these issues relevant to men. It's like, obviously make it relevant to everybody who it's going to impact, be it women, marginalized voices, disabled people, people of color. Obviously, you need to do that, but you got to know how to kind of remix the message for different people to get the point across. Where it's like, hey, man, it's like this Affordable Care Act, how's that going to impact me? It's like, well, look at it this way. How much you want to pay for your medication? You want to pay $3,000 or $30? It's like $30. Okay, we can all agree on that. Or if it's like, hey, these schools in the hood kind of suck. Yeah. Well, let's try and improve the minimum wage in the community and try and get some better like administration and power and to kind of build these schools up. Cool. Is that something that exclusively impacts black people? Well, not every hood has only black people, but it will certainly help. It's like, hey, everybody that lives under the poverty line, we're trying to boost up the schools. That's definitely going to help the hood, and that's going to help the hillbillies too. That doesn't fucking bother me. I'm not going to be mad because the hillbillies are getting a better education. God bless them. Good for them. That's what I want. I want more smart niggas walking around because nothing pisses me off more than a loud, dumb nigga. And we got a loud, dumb niggas. Signed, a loud, dumb nigga yelling in a microphone right now.
Yep.
But yeah, just...
We got to speak to everybody, and you got to find a way in to speak to them from a place of love when the other side is when there is a lot of utilization of hate and fear and fear of erasure and neglect. And then which
white
is
people are scared of being phased out. Sorry.
Exactly. No, yeah, this is true. This is true. And you got to make them feel safe.
yeah, that's the game. It's like we were never a part of that system. We've had to learn to either, like we were talking about with Transformers, you either adapt within the system or you're gonna burn it down. And every time we've tried to burn it down, they drop bombs on us. So we try to be a little bit more covert about the times we do. But just at the end of the day, look into your local candidates, know who runs, your city council, know who's on like your school charters and boards and stuff. But yeah, just like you said, learn to show empathy. I don't think it's required. Look, especially if you're a black woman and you don't feel like you have the spoons to send compassion to other people, focus on yourself. I'm not going to tell you to do more than you can do. If you can extend a little bit of grace and try to, engage in certain political factors, then I would say go for it. But I can't tell people what the fuck to do. And especially after these results, it's like, look, we voted for who we thought was the most appropriate. Don't ask us for shit. And I'm like, yeah, don't ask them for shit. Y'all got to lead the charge now. Most societal improvements and movements have been led by black women, as well as black men. So if black women and men and other people want to, it's like non-binary folks and whatnot want to sit this one out, sit it the fuck out for the next 4 years. Take a seat. Chill on the back burner.
Relax. Take it easy.
Yeah. Let the majority deal with the consequences of their own actions. It's not that Project 2025 won't have horrible negative impacts on us as much as they're trying to push that through. It's going to take a minute till it gets to us specifically. Like, they're definitely going to try to bring back slavery and shit. That's my conspiracy theory on all shit. It's like, yeah, they're definitely going to try to do some nasty, nasty shit to us. But it'll take a minute before they get there. It's a lot of immigration policies and taxation and foreign administration things that they're going to try to get through first. Eventually they'll get down to us, but they can't deport me anywhere.
Nope.
So it unfortunately it is what it is. I'm not wishing ICE raiding anybody. I'm not wishing that. I know some people are. I'm not wishing that on nobody because that sounds extremely terrifying and traumatic. But some of y'all are going to have to sleep in the bed that you made. Some of y'all need to check your parents and grandparents and aunties and uncles. Some of y'all got to cut some of them motherfuckers off. It's about to be a bumpy ride, and I'm just going to be doing my best to try and make it through. I got shit that I'm looking forward to. We got movies coming out. My personal life is getting better. I like to know that my friends are doing well as much as they can be. I'm glad to know that you're doing solid. So that's my primary focus right now is me and my community that I'm fostering. But Y'all niggas stay safe.
Stay safe out there, man. For real.
Evil world we live in.
Yeah.
But yeah. Hey, anything else before we check out?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay.
Go to rejnationshop.com, get yourself a Chelsea shirt. And yeah, Marin Alexander, you can find me at the real AaronAlexander.com, hiccup aside, not.com. You can find me at the real Aaron Alexander on Instagram and TikTok.
You got it.
Real is REAL, like real person on Instagram. It's real, like film real on TikTok. And yeah, that's me.
Yeah, if you're looking for me, Will the Greatest on YouTube, Will the Greatest on Instagram, and Will the Greatest on TikTok, usually where I upload the show clips. But yeah, we will see y'all in the next one. Stay safe. Don't forget to like the show, share the show with your friends, rate it highly. Leave a comment with the hashtag AskAce. Maybe we'll talk about it on the show. But yeah, everybody knows shit's fucked. So stay strong out there. Stay black. Stay proud, if that applies. If it doesn't, good luck.
Good luck, buddy.
Good luck, brother. I don't know what to tell you. Happy Thanksgiving. Well, not Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. Fuck Christopher Columbus.
There we go.
Okay.